As we age starts with strong bones. To keep your bones strong, you need calcium, vitamin D, and regular exercise. A bone density test called DEXA helps detect low bone mass and bone disease called osteoporosis. If you're 65 or older, Medicare provides free bone density tests every 2 years. Ask your doctor to schedule yours. For more information on how to be bone strong, visit pathtogoodbonehealth.org.
Hey, Joe, I thought you were retired.
Living on a fixed income is tough. So here I am, an essential worker.
I know. I mean, food prices are going up every day. Thank goodness for benefitscheckup.org.
Benefits what?
benefitscheckup.org. It's a free website where people over 60 can find help to pay for food, medicine, even utilities. I got $1,200 a year in benefits. Maybe it can help you.
Imagine a disease that affects more than 10 million Americans. More than AIDS, Parkinson's, ALS, MS, and muscular dystrophy combined. Yet few know its name. Some years ago, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And after surgery, she developed lymphedema, LE, a cruel and chronic disease affecting 10 million Americans that occurs when the lymphatic system is compromised, leaving one with a lifetime of severe swelling and pain. What we found out later is its severity might have been lessened or possibly even prevented if only we were better informed. That's why I'm urging anyone facing cancer treatment to get educated, talk to your doctor, make it part of your cancer conversation. And if you have LE, share your story. With patients and doctors working together, we can learn and live. Learn more at lymphaticnetwork.org.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah.
It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
They get up every morning from the alarm clocks, warning, take the 8:15 into the city. There's a whistle up above and people pushing.
Don't worry, we're here. We are here. We are ready to go. We are ready to rock and roll. It is time for Sports 56 Mornings on this Tuesday, November 14th, 2023. The gang is all here. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd. We're in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, it's where family and fun come together, but you know that by now. You probably know their overstock sale is continuing. Great deals as you get ready for the holiday season. Looking for that special gift, head on over to Family Leisure at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And the first hour of the program is brought to you by our friends at East Memphis Ace Hardware, where you can find an awful lot of stuff as well. Currently, your Tuesday morning, a little chilly as you would expect, but not too bad, 52, and it's going to heat up to about 73. We're going to have a mixture of sun and clouds tonight. Cloudy with a chance of showers, about a 20% chance. Low will dip down to around 50 tonight, but all in all, not too bad as we get closer to Thanksgiving. Coming up on the program today, Connor O'Gara joins us at 7:25 to talk college football. Of course, tonight will be the college football playoff rankings. Will there be a change at number one? We'll talk to Connor about that. And, of course, all the latest as far as the coaching moves are concerned. At 8:25, Jeff Crane's back after a week off to join us from the University of Memphis, and there is a lot to talk about when it comes to Memphis athletics. And then at 9:05, our Rhodes segment, Zoe Goodson will be in studio to talk about the Rhodes men's basketball team. We have Humdinger's trivia. That'll come your way at about 8:03, 8:05, somewhere in that neighborhood to start the second hour, as it does each and every week. Give you a chance to win a $25 gift certificate to Humdingers, and we'll also let you know what the topic will be for tomorrow's 5 favorite things. NBA Grizzlies back in action tonight against the Lakers. The men's basketball top 25 came out yesterday after we left the airwaves. We'll go over that as well. Some college basketball results from last night. Some college football news involving the University of Memphis. And the NFL week wrapped up last night with another game-winning field goal on the final play, the 6th of the week. Just incredible as the NFL ends on a Denver win over the Buffalo Bills in the final moments. We'll take your calls and texts on the Sports 56 listener lines at 901-360-8255. Plus, you can drop us a line on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and on our website, sportsmemphis.com. That's your lineup for today. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I know you get tired of me talking about these parlays, but I am the king of the bad beat. Now, granted, again, folks, I'm not some degenerate. I'm not betting lots of money. This was a $5 5-leg parlay bet that would have paid me a little over $100. So here's my play last night. I have Kincaid to catch a touchdown, score a touchdown for Buffalo. Check. I have Josh Allen to score a touchdown. Check. I have Lutz to kick 2 field goals for Denver. Check. I have Russell Wilson to complete 20 passes or more. Check. Allen scores late. They take the lead 22 to 21? No, I mean 22 to 21. Buffalo has the lead. Less than 2 minutes to go. At home. I know the Bills have been struggling a bit. Denver's been playing well. 22-21 at home. What happens if you were not awake to watch this, folks? Buffalo pass interference call. Keeps the drive alive. Then for the game-winning field goal, Lutz misses. They have 12 men on the field. Too many men on the field. He gets a reprieve. He makes the field goal. Denver wins, and I miss my parlay. Now, that is being snake-bitten. That is bad luck. I don't see any other way around it.
So you need a Buffalo to win?
I need a Buffalo on the money line. I didn't even go Buffalo -3, I think it was. Buffalo money line was the one I lost.
Tough one.
Damn, Eli. Come on now. I know it wasn't like the other dude who bet $500,000 and won. What was it, $4 million? My heart wasn't pounding out of my chest on a $5 bet. But come on, just a little bit of action, have a little fun. Stayed up later than I should have. I would have went to bed if I would have known with a crystal ball that Buffalo would have blown it. And now Buffalo, my Super Bowl pick, mind you, is 5-5.
Yeah, with they got the Jets this coming week, but they've got Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys after that.
Yeah, one of the hardest schedules remaining is Buffalo's schedule.
They theoretically could miss the playoffs. Josh, I just don't know what it is, why they cannot quit turning the ball over. Josh Allen can't quit turning the ball over. It is just every single game.
Do you think
they just battle them? They basically fight themselves. They are just constantly fighting themselves because of turnovers. Last night, the penalties. Although I'll say this, that pass interference penalty, which happens all the time in both college football and NFL football, drives me insane.
Me too.
It is such a bailout call. I mean, basically, if you're a quarterback and you get under pressure, if you've got a receiver out there anywhere, just underthrow him by 10 yards and have him try and fight back to the football. And the defender's going to run into him because the defender has no other choice. Like, he doesn't know. There's no way he could possibly understand that the ball's 10 yards behind him and the receiver's about to start running in the opposite direction.
I agree.
Like, it's just such a bailout call. Like, that defensive back at the end when the contact was made was looking back for the football, which they tell you, you got to look back for the football. I mean, technically, I guess it is pass interference, but it just drives me crazy because I don't know what the defensive back is supposed to do. It's a terrible throw. It's 10 yards. I mean, to me, that is an uncatchable ball. That guy's not getting back to that football to catch it. And I just don't. That thing drives me insane, but it's called all of the time.
It drives me crazy as well, especially when I have money on the game. But no, in seriousness, it's, Buffalo, they only have themselves to blame. They get 12 men on the field on a fire drill field goal. Denver did one of those earlier in the game, but they did it well. They executed it. This one was executed well until Lutz pushed it right. But Buffalo, they know what they're doing. They shouldn't be frantic. Buffalo's just got to have 11 guys on the field. The special teams unit for the field goal defense. It makes no sense to me how they blew it. And I just got to think it's me. It's Snake. I cost Buffalo the win. I'm snake bitten. So anyway, Buffalo 5-5. They're in trouble. And Denver's 4-5. And not to just go too much on this Monday Night Football game, but you mentioned the turnovers and Josh Allen. Do you think Josh Allen just thinks he can do too much as far as, throw a pass into a tiny window or force it? Or do you just think he's not a real intelligent football player?
No, I mean, he's got a cannon for an arm. And so, now, and granted, the first interception,
it was a tip.
It's just probably because he threw it too hard.
Right.
But again, it's a catch that Gabe Davis should make. Like, the ball's right in his hands and it's a deflection. But he generally tries to make, because of his arm, he believes he can fit a ball in anywhere. He thinks he can make every throw there is. There was one late in the game, and I was watching the Manning cast, and they said that was a reluctant throwaway because he does not want to throw the ball away. One, because he can move around like he can with his legs, he'll keep a play alive for a long time. But he
I know the one he's talking about.
It
too.
is defeat for him to have to just throw the ball away and admit that he will sit back there, and if he sees any window at all, he will try and throw a 200-mile-an-hour fastball into that window and see if he can get it there. And a lot of times it's not going to happen. I mean, the NFL, those windows close in a hurry if they're even there to begin with. And he needs to learn to, hey, it's okay. Live to see the next play.
Well, they also had the Cook fumble early. Now, Cook ran the ball extremely well. But then they had it was all Allen's fault on the exchange with Cook. They just slipped out of his hand, so he screwed that one up. Then Cook's running, gets the ball knocked out of his hands, but it bounces back fortuitously, bounces back right into his hands, and he almost takes it the distance. They would score to go ahead in the game.
That run won me my fantasy game.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Glad that ball bounced back to him.
Perfectly, right back into his hands. That's the drive that Josh Allen scored, what would be the go-ahead touchdown, and then, of course, they give up the field goal in the end. So, anyway.
But the thing is, I
was fit to be tied last night. Let's just put it that way when I went to bed.
Again, last night, just much like the Cleveland situation, the life of a kicker in the NFL can change. Your fortunes can change in a hurry. You go from dude misses he missed the one extra point. The other one was not his fault, to put you down by one. Then you've got the game-winning field goal, which you miss, only to get the second chance because of 12 men on the field. Then you make it, and everybody's picking you up and carrying you off the field like you're
right.
The hero. Like, literally, if they don't have 12 men on the field, you are the biggest GOAT in history. You not only missed the game-winning field, but you missed the extra point earlier that even put you in the position that you were trailing at that. And then all of a sudden you make the field goal. Mm-hmm. Hey, buddy, you're our guy. You're our guy, man. Hey, Will, you're our guy. It's just crazy, the life of an NFL kicker and how quickly it can change from one moment to the next, of going from the most hated guy in the locker room to, hey, everything's good. Let's go do it, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. A game of inches, miss it by a few inches, get a reprieve, and then knock it through.
Peyton Manning, when that first one, the field goal missed, I thought was going to have a, aneurysm. He just stared like, what just happened? Because he's cheering for the Broncos. Like, he's for one of his former teams. He's we this, we that, all this stuff. And then when that field goal missed, he was about to lose his mind. And then when they saw the flag, he's like, oh my gosh.
Again, for Buffalo to have 12 on the field, it's inexcusable. Sean McDermott, if that Buffalo team does not make the playoffs, I think he's fired. But anyway, we move on. From the NFL to basketball. Last night, I didn't get a chance to watch, but I kept up with the game. Let's give a lot of credit, even though it was a loss, and I hate moral victories, to the University of Memphis women's basketball team. Alex Simmons, former Tennessee Vol star, going up against her former team, was able to get that series as soon as she took over as the Memphis women's coach. Tennessee will be in Memphis next year. They go to Rocky Top. They go to Thompson Bowling. They play that team tooth and nail. They go on a 12-3 run late in the game in the fourth quarter to force overtime. The last 3 minutes, a 12-3 run. Unfortunately, they run out of gas. Tennessee makes their free throws down the stretch, and the 15th-ranked Lady Vols survive 84-74 by 10 in a game that was much closer than that score would indicate, but an overtime game. Again, not in the moral victories, but that was a hell of an effort.
Yeah, absolutely. It's obviously a very tough place to go play, and I'm sure a lot of emotion for her going back there and playing against her former team. And it's a heck of an effort. Heck of an effort for them.
Now they will head to the Bahamas, where the Memphis men's basketball team will be next week, Thanksgiving week, after playing their game Friday night against Alabama State. And for the University of Memphis men's basketball team, we were contemplating this on the show yesterday. I think we both came to the conclusion that they would probably be on the outside of the top 25 looking in, but I said they would get a lot of recognition. That's exactly what happened. They just missed out. They got 53 votes, which would place them 26 if you stretched the top 25. So one spot outside the top 25. And already last night, Villanova lost, the 21st ranked team in the nation, lost to Penn 76-72. So more than likely, unless the Tigers stub their toes on Friday night, they will be in the top 25 next week. Kansas, 51 first place votes, they're number one. Purdue got 7, they're number 2. Arizona got 3 after that big win over Duke, they're number 3. Marquette is 4th, and then the defending champion UConn Huskies got the lone remaining first place vote. They are 5th. Then it's Houston, the Tennessee Vols, Creighton, Duke, Florida Atlantic from the American Conference. Here's your top 10. Some other schools of note from the SEC: Texas A&M 13th, Arkansas 14th, Kentucky 17th, Alabama 22nd. And by the way, Colorado was the last team in the poll at 78. So they had 78, Memphis at 53. But again, with the Nova loss last night, Tigers should be in the top 25 next week.
Yep, if you revoted today, they'd be in.
That's right. But you don't. Memphis also got their first signing of the class of 2024. It was announced yesterday. 4-star guard Jared Harris from Texas, the number 86 prospect overall in the class of 2024, has signed with the University of Memphis. Mentioned Villanova lost last night. Arkansas got a win over Old Dominion, 86-77. And then Michigan, which will be the Tigers' first opponent next week in the Atlantis event in the Bahamas, they beat St. John's and Rick Pitino's team 89-73. So it looks like a pretty solid team for Juwan Howard and Michigan this year. Again, the Tigers' first opponent next week. Tonight, interesting games include Michigan State and Duke and Kentucky and Kansas. What's that? That State Farm event that they have every year?
Champions Classic.
Champions Classic. That'll be tonight. The Grizzlies tonight on the road in Los Angeles. They're still on the road in L.A. They won Sunday against the Clippers to improve to 2-8. They'll take on the Lake Show at 5-5 tonight, Staples Center. 9:30, as I said.
Crypto.com.
Crypto.com, as the name changed, of course. Yes, Crypto.com. It just rolls off the tongue. Crypto.com. I'm going to still call it the Forum, even though it's not the same building. Haven't seen an injury report for tonight yet. Not sure what LeBron James' status is.
I have not seen the Lakers injury report.
So LeBron wasn't able to go in their last game. That was the loss to Houston, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe that was their last game.
Yeah, Anthony Davis did play, so we'll see if LeBron's back for this one. Grizzlies try to string back-to-back wins together. After the game tonight, they'll head back home and then back on the road once again for a game Saturday against the San Antonio Spurs. From the college football world, Seth Hennigan, Memphis Tigers quarterback, named the American Conference Offensive Player of the Week. Went for 32 out of 48 against Charlotte for 329 yards and a couple of touchdowns. His 16th 300-yard passing game, which is now a University of Memphis record. Think about that. The fine quarterbacks that have rolled through this program, especially recent quarterbacks, Brady White, Paxton Lynch, Riley Ferguson, going back to Danny, Wim Prine, and then before that, Steve Matthews and some others. He is number one on that list with 16 300-yard passing games and counting.
LeBron's listed as questionable for tonight.
Questionable? Okay. I was asking the guys on our way to Charlotte, how would you rank the Memphis quarterbacks all time? And it was interesting because everyone had a different list. But Seth Hennigan, especially if Seth returns for a final year, the numbers he's putting up, who knows if he won't own all the records when it's all said and done.
Yeah, he certainly has a chance. I mean, it's just the game has changed, and especially if you stay nowadays, if you stay somewhere for 4 years, if you're going to be a 4-year starter somewhere, you're probably going to rewrite the record book.
The game has changed, but all the passing records have been accumulated over the last 10 years. So you can compare. You're not comparing a guy from the 60s or a guy even from the 80s. So it's a tough call. I've asked a lot of people, and a lot of them have different answers. Many of them say Brady White. Some of them say Paxton Lynch. You even have you throw in a Riley Ferguson every once in a while, and then there's some that say it's going to be Seth Hennigan, or even feel right now it's Seth Hennigan. Memphis, by the way, as they get ready for this battle with SMU this weekend, and we'll have plenty more to talk about as far as this matchup is concerned as the week progresses. We'll, of course, have the coach, Ryan Silverfield, on Thursday, and we'll have our Tiger football report. But the Tigers went from the early line, they were a 6-point underdog. That line has now moved to 8.5.
Again, their defense doesn't inspire a lot of faith in people, I don't believe.
No, I'd say you're correct with that. 8.5 points. SMU, by the way, number 10 in the nation in offensive efficiency, number 11 in defensive efficiency. That may surprise a few people as far as their defense is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, but they have. They have blown some teams out. That's not like they've racked up a bunch of great wins.
Right.
It's just, when they've played some of these bad teams, they've blown them out. Whereas the Tigers have struggled and given up a lot of points. SMU, a lot of those have been 40, 50-point games.
From the world of Major League Baseball, the hardware is starting to roll in. Yesterday was the Rookie of the Year awards, and two unanimous winners, Gunnar Henderson of the Orioles and Corbin Carroll of the Diamondbacks. No surprise there whatsoever.
No, not at all. I mean, Corbin Carroll had been his award for months and months. Maybe with a little more question in the American League, but he was definitely going to win. I guess there was a question whether he would be a unanimous selection, but Carroll, there was no chance of him not winning that award and not being unanimous.
And from the world of soccer, if you missed this, it was announced yesterday that the University of Memphis men's soccer team had made the NCAA tournament field. And looky, here comes Cookie. They host SIUE in the first round of the men's soccer tournament on Thursday night. Your alma mater.
That's right. Look out!
Who you rooting for?
Come on. My Cougars didn't exactly put a scare into Mizzou last night. Mizzou was looking forward to the big matchup last night with SIUE. That's why they struggled against the Tigers.
Oh, you're talking about hoops now. Okay.
Yeah, but
what was the final?
68-50, I think it was, something like that.
All right, it's respectable. He didn't lose by 50 or anything like that. But anyway, their soccer team will be here to play the University of Memphis men's soccer team on Thursday.
They've always had a good soccer program there at SIUE.
Also, it was announced that the time and the day for the University of Memphis women's soccer team round of 32 matchup. They will take on Notre Dame in Fayetteville Friday at 3 o'clock. Jeff Crane from the University of Memphis will join us at 8:25 to talk all things University of Memphis. Right now, I want to talk all things Meadowbrook Country Club, 1250 West Broadway in West Memphis, Arkansas. Folks, when I say it's a quick trip from anywhere, it really is. You're talking about 10 to 15 minutes from Midtown or downtown. Just cross the river, and look, you don't got to pay the ferryman. Just go across the bridge and then head on over to Meadowbrook Country Club. It's a country club that was established in 1959, a challenging layout with Bermuda greens. It was private for all these years, but now it's semi-private, meaning you can use it as a daily fee course. Yes, open Tuesday through Sunday. Just call up, set up a tee time, and play this challenging course. $59 in tax, but that includes your cart. Call 870-394-4186. That's 870-394-4186. If you're driving around, don't try to write down the number. Just look it up, Meadowbrook Country Club. Give my buddy Mark Bartlett a call. He's the pro there. Set up your tee time. You can also become a member of the country club if you like. If you're especially living in that area, $350 per month. Includes golf and tennis, pickleball as well. They got a great swimming pool, restaurant, and bar. All the amenities, $350 per month. If you want a golf lesson, you call Mark Bartlett. If you want to be fitted for Shrixon Clubs, he's one of only 3 in the area, 3 people that can fix you or fit you rather for Shrixon Clubs. Mark can take care of that as well. The guy was on the PGA Tour. He knows what he's talking about. So give Mark a call. Set up your tee time today. Open Tuesday through Sunday, 870-394-4186 for Meadowbrook Country Club. When we come back, Connor O'Gara joins us to talk college football. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
The Black Friday sales event is on, and you better run, not walk, to Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. Plus, Gossett's got no payments for 90 days. That's right, 90 days, no payments. Take your pick, 2023 Dodge Charger SXT or 2023 Dodge Challenger SXT, $6,000 off MSRP. Or check out 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn, seat 6, 6,750 pounds towing capacity. We Gossett at $11,000 off. And if we don't have what you're looking for, Gossett can order it today. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett on the Pike, or shop online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Charger PH 50 8657, MSRP 35960. Challenger PH 596577, MSRP 36345. Ram PN 523262, MSRP 55755. Financing and deferred monthly to well-qualified buyers through Chrysler Capital or Stellantis Financial Services. Take retail delivery by 11/30/23. Includes all rebates and incentives. $695 PF. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2023 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Want even more excitement on game day? It's time to get on Prize Picks, the best way to win big on fantasy sports. Here's how it works. Just pick 2 to 6 players and choose more or less on their stats. If you get them right, you could win up to 25 times your cash. It's quick and easy to make your picks, and with fast and safe deposits and withdrawals, Prize Picks is the place to play this season. Prize Picks has awesome weekly promotions, and they're the only daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, keeping you in the game even if one of your players goes down. Sweat it out, watch your entry update in real time, and continue the fun by making picks on second half and fourth quarter stats. Take your game day experience to the next level with Prize Picks. And right now, you go to prizepicks.com/primetime and use code primetime. Prize Picks is matching your first deposit up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/primetime with code primetime for a 100% deposit match. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for more details.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Your brain is an amazing thing. But as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired, Prevagen has been shown to improve memory. A Pharmacy Times national survey of pharmacists rated Prevagen the #1 pharmacist-recommended memory support brand for the 5th year in a row. You can find it in the vitamin aisle in stores everywhere without a prescription. Help your memory. Try Prevagen today. Prevagen. Healthier brain, better life. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Response to the all-new Genesis Diamonds has been incredible. People are loving what we've brought to Memphis. Genesis is a different kind of jewelry store with more jewelry than you've ever seen in one place at prices you never thought possible. What people really love about Genesis is the transparency, the education. Genesis is revealing all the long-held secrets of the diamond industry. We'll teach you how to buy like a dealer buys, how to understand the ways diamonds are priced by the wholesalers, how slight variations in size and clarity can translate into thousands in savings passed along to you. At Genesis, our non-commissioned diamond experts are here to guide you every step of the way. Our diamond education will make you a better, more informed consumer. Even if you don't buy from us, we'll make you a more dangerous shopper when you visit other places. Discover the Genesis difference, forever changing how people in Memphis buy diamonds and fine jewelry. Now open at Poplar & Perkins, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Watching traffic really pick up just in the last 15-20 minutes on 385 Bill Morris Parkway as you continue inbound towards 240. Still holding up right now as far as serious accidents. Now that volume of traffic has really increased just over the last 10-15 minutes on 40 West coming in from Fayette County as you come past 269 again on 40 westbound. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry located 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 7:30 the time, hour number 1 here on Sports 56 Mornings. On this Tuesday, November 14th, 2023, and every other Tuesday, we get a chance to talk college football with the one and only Connor O'Gara.
It's time to talk some SEC and college football. Joining Greg and Eli is Connor O'Gara from SaturdayDownSouth.com and SaturdayTradition.com. Here's Connor O'Gara with Greg and Eli.
As I mentioned, we talk every other week with Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South and Saturday Tradition. You can follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. I spent all night, Connor, last night just pounding my head against the wall trying to figure out some topics to talk about today. I couldn't come up with much. How are you?
I'm doing well. Man, I hope you're joking because it feels like...
Of course I am.
Ahead of the lightest week in the SEC, I'm like looking at what I'm going to talk about on the podcast tomorrow. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to fit this under 2 hours and 15 minutes. Like, this is going to be tough.
Oh, it's absolutely incredible. All right, let's start with, I guess, the latest of the news, which was the Monday news yesterday, the Zach Arnett firing from Mississippi State. Any surprise with that move? And then what do you think about a replacement?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of surprise. I think not so much in the present moment, but more so in the fact that Zach Arnett was not an interim coach. He was allowed to hire his own staff. He brought in his new offensive coordinator, Kevin Barbay, from Appalachian State. It did not go well. It was always going to be a difficult transition away from the Mike Leach air raid, and doing so with the timing probably just did not work out, and that was something that Zach Arnett had to wear. He was the second youngest Power 5 head coach. I think he will land on his feet just fine and be a great Power 5 defensive coordinator, and eventually maybe he'll get another opportunity down the road. But, yeah, his replacement, look, I'm starting in one place, and it's the place the Mississippi State fans know all too well. I'm starting with Dan Mullen, and I have to make that call because even though if I'm Zach Selman, new athletic director, who was hired after the Zach Arnett hire post-Mike Leach death, after all that happened, if I'm making that move, I'm looking at the guy who's had, more modern success there than anybody, and who right now you don't have to pry him away from Oregon State like Jonathan Smith. You don't have to pry him away from Kansas like Lance Leipold or Liberty and Jamie Chadwell. Those candidates are all great. They're all fantastic. I'd be going to Dan Mullen, and I'd make him say no.
Do you think he would jump at the chance to go back there?
I talked with Dan Mullen for about an hour in August. And every sense I got from him was that he had this itch that he felt he needed to scratch at Florida, and he felt he had taken Mississippi State as far as it could go. Does that mean that he would never entertain that opportunity again? No. Is it going to be a more difficult sell than just simply, hey, you want to come home and here's $4 million to do it? Yeah, it's going to be a more difficult sell than that. And I think he looks at the landscape of the league and he's like, man, it's going to be really difficult. That's an uphill climb. But you have to at least see, and you have to see what that sense of urgency is like. He loves his life right now. He loves his life doing the ESPN gig. When I talked to him, he's like, yeah, I haven't had to work all offseason. Just went to London, went to Paris with the family. I'm going on the boat as soon as we hop off this interview in Lake Oconee. Like, this is what his life has become, and he's okay with that. He doesn't need the money. But it is something where it would have to take some coaxing probably from both parties. Both parties would probably need to be all in to make this work.
All right, down in College Station, obviously the huge news on Sunday, Jimbo Fisher let go, owed $76 million as he's let go without the cause. So they certainly have to pay him his money, give the man his money. But here's the thing. People now are, journalists, some journalists are writing about the demise of college football, and the big reason why is that type of money that's just kind of thrown around haphazardly and coaches that are paid that much money. The way I look at it is, hey, they have the money, they have the boosters, they got deep pockets, they want to spend the money, now they want to eat the money to bring in a new coach. That's their prerogative. It's not the demise of college football. But Jimbo Fisher is out, and now the names are surfacing, interesting names, including Dan Lanning's name. Dan Lanning came out yesterday and said 100% absolutely, I am not leaving, if you believe what the man said. Lane Kiffin said, I'm not going down that road again after what just happened at Auburn. So those are the type of names that you're going to hear. Jim Harbaugh, obviously, as well.
Yeah, look, the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle with that. There are a lot of programs within that A&M athletic department that are probably really frustrated looking at that buyout. That, I think, is more so the takeaway internally and what it means for college sports as a whole. When, look, we're numb to money in college football, but guys, the richest buyout ever paid before that to a head coach was Gus Malzahn, $21.5 million. This was 3.5 times that, and it's why I kept my Iowa notebook and I would show it repeatedly and say, guys, this is ridiculous, the amount of money that they're going to have to pay to fire him one day. And I didn't think that they would do it, and then they did it. So now you're looking at this investment, and it is a wild, unprecedented college sports investment that they are going to have to make to hire a replacement, and the amount of money that's going to cost. Like, it took Billy Napier, it was like a $70 million investment to get him to Florida with all of his support staff and all those things. So if you're looking at that kind of money with his replacement, and oh, by the way, the amount of money that it costs to be able to sustain a college football roster, much less a competitive one in this day and age with NIL and transfer portal, good luck, man. Good luck with all that. They just bit off the biggest check that we're ever going to see paid to assemble a college football roster for a program that's going to go about 8-4. Like, that is a crazy thing to process. And to me, it is a sign of some troubling things to come. And I don't really know what that replacement list looks like beyond Lane Kiffin. Dan Lanning, that is realistic for what they are going to want.
But who's paying for the money? Who's paying these coaches? The boosters are paying. So what do we care?
Right.
What do we care?
Well, yeah, I mean, look, we don't care until that check bounces or until they can't fund that money.
To the check bounces.
Look, I'll believe when I see it that all that money is paid in full and we don't have a lawsuit on our hands. I mean, think about how much money that is. And you got athletic departments right now, possibly one in a certain Fayetteville, Arkansas, that's like $16 million. Guys, I don't want to pay that. This is $76 million. Yeah. You don't find that in between your couch cushions. You just don't. So, look, I don't necessarily think it's the demise of college athletics. I just think it's a sign of, like, what are we doing here? What are we really doing here when that type of money is being paid for a coach who wasn't particularly good?
Do you believe tonight, on the backs of the blowout win over a top 10 team, Georgia goes to number 1 in the playoff rankings?
Yes, I do. I think the time is right. I think beating Ole Miss like that, a respected Ole Miss team, I think that is going to push Georgia over the top of Ohio State, because you can no longer make the case that Ohio State has 2 wins that are better than Georgia's and Michigan, and that's, I think, the difference. So I think that Georgia, with the way that it beat Ole Miss, I mean, that was a drubbing, and having Brock Bowers back, doing Brock Bowers things in that football game, having their defense look lights out despite the fact that they lose Jamon Dumas-Johnson last week in the Mizzou game. Like, it just doesn't matter with Georgia. And so I do think that they're going to move up to number 1, because that Mizzou win has also aged really nicely as well. So I think you're looking at a situation in which Georgia is going to be number 1, Ohio State 2, and Michigan will stand pat at 3 and claim that it's some us against the world thing, and it's not just the fact that their resume is incredibly thin.
Yeah, we own that saying here in Memphis. It's Memphis versus everybody. Now you got Michigan versus everybody. Come on now. But what do you think ends up happening Friday, I guess, is the hearing. Harbaugh says, let me at him. I want to speak, and he expects to speak during I don't know what he can say, but what do you think ends up being the end-all, be-all with Michigan and with Harbaugh?
I think Harbaugh gets a regular season suspension and he comes back in the postseason. I think that's what happens. Michigan and Michigan fans are as delusional as any college program I've seen in recent memory. I mean, that post-game interview, I'm just like, did Jim Harbaugh die? Do I need to get on Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it these days, and make sure I didn't miss that? Because, like, what are we doing here? You beat a team that you beat repeatedly year after year, and your head coach wasn't out there. He was down the street watching in a hotel room.
Right.
Give me a break. Like, give me a break. This us against the world. It's us against the world because you cheated. And now the world is like, hey, you cheated. You should be punished. That's the way that we work. We like to see people held accountable. And Michigan is making this out to be like, oh, we're the scapegoats. They're singling us out. Mm-hmm. No, you were the scapegoat because your guy had a 500-page manifesto about how he's going to take over your program and the steps that he was doing to get there. Like,
right.
This is just absurd that Michigan has gotten to this place.
I'm going to be curious just to see what he says on Friday. But do you think he's back after this season?
No, I think he's gone.
Okay,
I think more likely is that he's going to the NFL. Hopefully to my Chicago Bears. Look, I'll become the biggest Harbaugh fan ever if that happens. And if he goes to the Bears, things could change in a hurry.
You want Connor Stallions on those sidelines.
Look, I'm just saying. The guy does his homework. Look, you don't have to do that in the NFL because they actually believe in these things called radios in the helmets. But yeah, we'll take what we can get with the Chicago Bears right now. If the McCaskey family turns their nose up to Connor Stallions, I don't know. That might be the end of my Bears fandom.
No, it is so. Like the fact that they're acting mistreated, like, I feel sorry for us. It drives me. This whole thing has driven me crazy about Michigan and Harbaugh, and it makes me like. I really want Ohio State to beat them. Normally, I go into that game and I don't care. I wanted Penn State to beat them, but I knew Penn State couldn't do it because Penn State always loses these games. But now I really want Ohio State to beat them.
Michigan, the little engine that could. We just feel bad for those guys, The little guy. One for the little guy.
Get out of here! Like, to me, it's just so ridiculous that it's gotten to this place. And I do think that it's going to set up for some drama. And look, we need that in this sport. We need heroes. We need villains. Michigan is so much more villain than victim. Like they're acting like this decision was made because the Big Ten commissioner heard Big Ten coaches say, you got to do something. And it's the NCAA that gave him their findings, and they gave him what they've already been able to uncover. Michigan fans are just like, oh, no, this due process has to play out. It's like, well, you already have proof of these things from the NCAA investigation. Yeah, it's just absurd.
Kind of right now, what would kind of be your Heisman ballot if you voted today?
Jaden Daniels would be one. He would. And I would probably have Bo Nix, and then that third spot would be a mix between Michael Penix Jr. and Marvin Harrison Jr. And I watched those games back to back, and I watched the LSU Florida game, and I watched Bo Nix against a very disastrous USC defense. And the command that Jaden Daniels has, he got every blade of grass he wanted to, and he's been doing that all year. And if you tell me, the losses, then tell me why Jaden Daniels, tell me that he's supposed to be playing corner and that he's supposed to be having coverage on the outside too. This isn't 1945 anymore. Like, he's been unbelievably good, better than I ever thought possible, better than I thought he could ever be after seeing him in that opener in my neck of the woods here in Orlando against Florida State. He would be number one on my ballot.
See, that's what, it amazes me that, in the betting lines, that Nix has gone to the favorite and not Daniels, just off of the week he just had. I mean, the dude did, doing stuff that never been done. And I don't understand why. To me, he should absolutely be the favorite.
Is it because they have, 3 losses now?
Yeah, LSU has 3 losses. Yeah. And then here's the other thing, and it's something to keep in mind. It's something that now, I got a Heisman vote last year, so I'm trying to do all the things that I said I wouldn't do and get away from that, all the things that I criticized. Conference championship weekend is loud. It is loud in the Heisman Trophy race. And as we saw, 2018, when Kyler steals it from Tua at the end with how he played in the conference championship compared to Tua, even though they're not playing the same competition. But Bo Nix is very likely going to have a chance to play in a conference championship game, and Jaden Daniels won't. And so I think that is baked in with those odds, and that's probably why they sit where they sit right now.
All right, I need Marvin. I need your boy Marvin, the one you said, Marvin Harrison. I need him to continue to play well and have a huge game against Michigan because I put money on him in the preseason. So I need him to get up there and win.
I don't know that he's winning, but I think getting to New York and maybe hedging out, that might be the better play.
Real quick, Connor, before we let you go, predictions. What's the I would assume you like Georgia at Tennessee, but did they blow them out?
I don't think they blow them out because I think the style that Tennessee plays after the grind that Georgia's schedule has actually been the last 3 weeks, I think that could actually make for a tough down-to-the-wire type game, but I can't bet against Georgia. Georgia finds so many different ways to beat you. So, yeah, I will take the Dogs to go into Knoxville and hand Tennessee their first home loss in 2 years.
And what about Washington at Oregon State?
Washington still. Look, they're playing with fire. They're playing with fire. They haven't won a game by more than 10 points in a month and a half. People are making those LSU 2019 comparisons, and all they've done is play in these nail-biter, thriller-type games. Very good football team, high-powered offense, but still, I'll take Washington. They are finding ways to win, but it is a little bit more reminiscent of 2022 TCU than 2019 LSU.
Yeah. Of course, if the guy hadn't dropped the interception short of the goal line, they would have won this one by double digits.
That's true. I hate that trend.
I still can't believe I know. That dude wasn't even that dude dropped on the 2-yard line.
I don't even know why they did this. But anyway, Michael Penix is my favorite. He's my favorite player. He's my favorite quarterback. I think he's going to be a great NFL quarterback. But I am really, really interested in that one because I think Oregon State may very much pull off the upset this weekend. He is Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South, Saturday Tradition. Read all his great stories. Check out the podcast. He always has great guests, including Dan Mullen recently, I guess back in the summer. You can follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. Catch him every other week talking with us right here on Sports 56 Mornings. Thank you, Connor.
Gentlemen, appreciate it.
Take care.
Folks, Memphis Barbecue Supply. If you are getting ready for your Thanksgiving meal, thinking about that Thanksgiving meal, thinking about that turkey, you need the supplies to make that turkey perfect for Thanksgiving, go see the folks at Memphis Barbecue Supply. They can help with that Thanksgiving feast. Whether you're deep frying it, whether you're smoking it, whether you're just sticking it in the oven, however you're cooking that turkey, they've got things you need like brines, injections, the brine bags and buckets. They've got over 20 different turkey injections and brines. They've got over 300 different rubs and sauces. They've got the woods. If you're going to be smoking it, obviously they got the charcoal, they got the pellets, but they also have the different wood flavors, whichever one you want. I think when I've done mine, I've used apple when I've done the turkey for Thanksgiving. They've got all of that for you at Memphis Barbecue Supply, plus thermometers, the injectors, all those little things to help you make that cook as simple as possible to make sure it is absolutely perfect. Plus, if you've got questions, maybe it's the first time you've done this, cook the turkey for your Thanksgiving, they can answer those questions. They got a great staff. Jimmy and his staff over there will answer those questions for you. 7041 Stage Road, online, mbbqsupply.com. Go by, see them, check them out online. You can order online as well at Memphis Barbecue Supply.
So who are legitimate candidates to take over that Texas A&M job? Also, the Tigers and SMU gearing up for a showdown on Saturday. Want to talk about that. We want to open up the phone lines and the text lines to you. 360-8255. Same number to call in or text in. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's time for the holidays.
Bah, humbug.
What, you're not all excited for the turkey and dressing and cranberry sauce?
The cooking, the cleaning, the relatives.
Well, you got people coming in from out of town?
So many people.
It'll be fun.
All I want to do is go to Central Barbecue.
That's all you ever want to do.
Alone.
Come on, it's the holidays.
Just sitting there in a booth all by myself, enjoying Central Barbecue, no family, being all festive.
Well, you enjoy your own private Central Barbecue holiday.
That is all I ask.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee must finance through Hyundai. Forte LX SPE 694,095, MSRP 21,610. Storage R722 7239, MSRP 28,715. EVP 560 3393, MSRP 50,200. Includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2023 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Got Jeff Allen here from Gossett Kia, South Mount Moriah. Hey Jeff, you ready for the holidays with the season of giving back?
I'm ready to give out some great holiday gifts and save you some big bucks. Perfect for the holiday road trips. 41 MPG Highway in a new 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $229 a month. $27.99 due at signing. Or a big family that needs more room? 2024 Kia Sportage LX with class-leading cargo room and rear seat leg room, $299 a month. $34.99 due at signing.
What about an EV?
2023 Kia EV6 Wind, 134 City, 101 Highway, MPGE, $379 a month. $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease.
Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
At Sissy's Log Cabin, you'll find only spectacular natural diamonds that will remain treasured for generations. That promise is now symbolized by the engraved Sissy signature and sapphire, representing our guarantee of extraordinary service, selection, experience, and quality. Stop by any of our stores or visit sissyslogcabin.com and experience the Sissy's promise for yourself. Find a jeweler for a lifetime. Only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood, across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Coming up in hour number 2, we'll open up with Humdinger's Trivia. We'll get to your calls and texts, and Jeff Crane from the University of Memphis at 8:25. 5 favorite things, that'll happen on Wednesday, tomorrow. So, on Tuesday, we give you the topic for the week. This week's topic, your 5 favorite athletes, college or pro, that were born in the Memphis metropolitan area. Your 5 favorite collegiate or professional athletes that were born in the metropolitan Memphis area. So that would include northern Mississippi, would include eastern Arkansas, anywhere in the general metropolitan area of Memphis. That's tomorrow's 5 favorite things topic. Okay, so on face value, Eli, if you believe Dan Lanning, who came out and said, no way, I'm staying at Oregon, if you believe him, you take him out of the mix. Lane Kiffin's name will pop up again and has popped up again. Mike Norvell, I can't see Mike Norvell leaving Florida State. Jim Harbaugh obviously is an interesting name, but I agree with Connor. I think he ends up in the NFL. You have a couple of guys that are out of coaching right now that could be interesting candidates for the Texas A&M job. Cliff Kingsbury, Urban Meyer. What direction do you think they may go? Because I still think they're going with a name. They have to make a splash. It's Texas A&M. I can't imagine they're going to go with a relatively unknown up-and-comer offensive coordinator somewhere.
Yeah, I mean they'll swing for the fences like they do and like they have the ability to do because of the money. I mean, again, when you're paying when you've paid somebody $76 million to go away, we know the NIL situation down there is really good. There's the facilities, everything else, the commitment to the program. There is it's an attractive job. So I mean, they will swing at everybody. Now they might get told no, and there will probably be there might be some coaches that use them to get raises and extensions.
Mm-hmm. And Sexton represents all of them.
See Jimmy Sexton's coaching list, and then Jimmy will probably end up putting somebody in that job anyway. But I mean, I don't know who it is. I don't know who would be willing to leave their current job, but it's one of the best jobs in America, despite the fact that they haven't won a whole lot here in recent times.
But do you have an I agree with everything you said there, but do you have an educated guess as to who it could be? Like, do you think Lane Kiffin would leave?
I don't think he's going to leave for Texas A&M.
I don't think so either.
But it wouldn't shock me if he did.
Okay. No, I'm with you. Mike Norvell, probably not leaving, right?
He would be I can't see him leaving the ACC to go to the SEC in that situation. He's in a position right now where they might be able to dominate the ACC. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, they might also leave the ACC if they can in the next few years. But I think he would. I think at this point he will be staying in Florida at Florida State.
If you believe Dan Lanning, he loves it at Oregon. Why wouldn't you love it at Oregon? Of course, they're going to the Big Ten. Does Urban Meyer make sense at this time?
I don't. If Urban Meyer wants to coach, he's had great success everywhere he's been.
Could they do something crazy? Remember, they went out and got Jimbo Fisher after a national championship. Could they go after Dabo?
I don't think Dabo would be at this point with where Clemson is. I don't think
he would be attractive to them.
No.
Kingsbury do anything for you?
I don't see them going down that route just because it's not like his track record in college was some great track record. They were, not granted that Texas Tech's not an easy job to win at, but
right.
It's not like he racked up a bunch of wins at Texas Tech. He was barely above 500, and then he goes to the NFL, fails there, and gets fired. I don't think that's going to satisfy that fan base.
I don't see guys like Lincoln Riley leaving USC. I don't see Brent Venables leaving Oklahoma. I don't see Ryan Day leaving Ohio State. I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a plethora of really good options unless you can convince Jim Harbaugh to leave Michigan. But why would he leave his alma mater to go to Texas A&M? He's going to more than likely go to the NFL. So again, it'll be interesting to see which direction they go in, but it is A&M. They are making a splash. Now with Mississippi State, that's a different ballgame. Mississippi State may go after Dan Mullen, who was there and had success. But I think that with Mississippi State, they could be a type of program that brings in a hot coordinator. And this time, bring in an offensive coordinator. Stop it with the defensive coordinators. I know Barry Odom's done a real nice job at UNLV in the Mountain West, but for the most part, get yourself an offensive coordinator. You'll thank me later.
Yeah, again, if I'm Mississippi State, I said yesterday, my first call is Jamie Chadwell. I get the Dan. And I don't know that you can get Chadwell. I don't know what, he had a lot of chances to leave Coastal Carolina, never went to any of those jobs, ends up going to Liberty. I don't know what
But he probably never had a Power 5 offer, though, right? Or at least an SEC Power 5 offer.
Yeah, but he may have a certain job or whatever that he really likes and wants or whatever. I mean, again, Mississippi State's a difficult job, really difficult, and getting more difficult.
Yeah, that's true.
For somebody like that, he may say, no, that's I would much rather wait for a better job that gives me a chance to win at a high level in the Power 5. And so, because he's going to have more opportunity. Hell, Texas A&M could end up, with looking at J.B. Chadwell. I don't know. Again, my guess is that Texas A&M hires a head coach from somewhere. I think they'll probably hire a Power 5 head coach.
All right, when we come back, hour 2, we'll open up, as I mentioned, with Humdinger's Trivia. We'll get to your calls and texts. Want to talk a lot about the Tigers and the SMU and the importance of this game. We'll also get back into the Grizzlies later on as they try to make it back-to-back wins, taking on the Los Angeles Lakers tonight. Jeff Crane from the University of Memphis will join us at 8:25. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Here at Memphis Barbecue Supply, we have everything you need for your Thanksgiving feast. If you're smoking, deep frying, or putting that turkey in the oven, we got over 20 different turkey injections and brines to keep your meat juicy and moist, with brine bags and buckets, and 308 different rubs and sauces to choose from. If you're in need of fuel, Memphis Barbecue Supply carries 9 different types of wood chip, chunk, mini logs, and logs of wood, and over 4 tons of wood pellets in stock. And don't worry, we also carry thermometers, injectors, and all other sorts of gadgets that you might need to simplify your cook. And for any questions that you might have, our knowledgeable staff is always eager to help. Memphis Barbecue Supply is located at 7041 Stage Road in Memphis, or you can order online at mbbqsupply.com. Follow us on all the social media platforms for recipes, new products, and barbecue news.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry, and they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Bartlett Small Engine has free pickup and delivery both at your home and curbside for lawnmowers, blowers, edgers, and any small engine. Call 901-386-9779.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce.
When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. There is a couple of minor accidents out here. We're watching it pick up with some volume coming out of Fayette County right now on 40 westbound here at 269 all the way to Witten Road. Southbound Austin P Highway starting to build again as you head towards the interstate. Coming up from the south still looks good on 55 northbound from DeSoto County up through South Haven. Weimer's Jewelry's gearing up for the holiday season. Go by and see them this week and save a lot of money at Weimer's Jewelry. They are your family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:03 the time. Hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. Their overstock sale continues. Currently partly cloudy, 53 degrees. We're going to get a mixture of sun and clouds today with a high of 73. And then tonight, cloudy with a chance of showers, about a 20% chance with a low of around 50 degrees. Busy second hour. Jeff Crane joins us a little bit later on from the University of Memphis. We'll talk Memphis SMU football. We'll talk some Grizzlies basketball. We'll take your calls and texts as well. Second hour of the program is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Give you a little more information on that coming up a little bit later on in the hour, but it is Tuesday and it's time for Humdinger's Trivia.
That's right. Every Tuesday, opportunity for you to win a $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's. And, of course, every Tuesday is Taco Tuesday over at Humdinger's. I was over there last Taco Tuesday, as a matter of fact, enjoying some of those delicious chicken and fish tacos over at Humdinger's at Poplar and Massey. Every Tuesday, they're just $2 each all day long. If not there on a Tuesday for the tacos or just want to enjoy some other things, there's so many other great things on the menu, from the grilled fish options to the different chicken dishes, the crispy fish and chips, sandwiches, salads, so many things for you to choose from. Great sides, the toppings for the grilled fish, that Humdinger shrimp, which is a very popular item over there. Heck, if you get maybe one of the grilled fish options, you can add a skewer of shrimp to that as well. It's absolutely delicious, inexpensive, healthy over there at Humdinger's, again at Poplar and Massey. If you are the first to answer our trivia question correctly, well, then you'll get the $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's, and you could answer via text 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. Text in the answers, and the first correct answer will get Humdinger's, and if we have a tie, then Zach becomes the tiebreaker, and then you can blame him if you lose the tiebreaker. It's out of my hands at that point. It's all in the hands of Zach Boyd. Here is today's question. Again, answer at 901-360-8255 via text. The Major League Baseball hardware season awards being handed out this week. Rookies of the Year handed out yesterday. I believe it's Managers of the Year today. Then you'll get Cy Young and then MVP awards. There are 3 Major League Baseball franchises who have never had an MVP award winner. Which 3 franchises? What 3 franchises in Major League Baseball have never had an MVP award winner? 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. Text in those answers. First correct answer gets the $25 gift certificate. So you're going to need to list 3.
3, yes. Not just the one. There's 3 of them.
There's not just one. There's 3.
No, but I mean, just don't give us one of the 3. All 3. There you go. 360-8255. That is also the number to call in if you'd like to talk to us about anything that's going on in the world of sports. And Alan probably wants to gloat about his UT Lady Vols. Alan, how are you?
Yeah, I watched the game last night, and you're not going to keep that coach very long.
Alex Simmons?
Yeah, I looked at it. I watched it from the perspective of past teams, and they played defense like past teams. But also, we were missing All-American 31 points and 8 rebounds a game. She sat out with a sore ankle.
Right. But that was still that was a great effort by Memphis. I didn't expect that.
That was a tremendous effort, and she's you know who was watching her was Danny White.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if we ever make a change, she'd probably be the first one we'd go to.
Well, let's keep Memphis needs to keep their coach for a few more years. They just lost one.
They played really hard. Pat Summitt always said you can't coach effort.
That's
and
right.
They played so hard it was unbelievable.
That's good. Again, I'm not into moral victories, but that effort was tremendous. Thank you, Alan.
Yeah,
appreciate the phone call. Look, when you think about it, Laird Veach and his staff, Lauren Ashman, Jeff Crane, everybody, they have made some good hires. They really have made good hires. And you think about some of the coaches that are at the University of Memphis. You got Brooks Monaghan with women's soccer. How is he still here? You would think a big-time program would have tried to steal him. He probably has had offers. Richard Mulrooney has done a great job with the men's team. But after the hire of Katrina Merriweather, who then goes back to her alma mater at Cincinnati, that's understandable, and now you bring in Alex Simmons. They're hitting home runs. I think they're going to do extremely well in baseball, and they did with the last coach who went to Missouri and I thought was great. And now you have Matt Reiser coming in. So, yeah, I think they've done a really nice job. Now, the question is, with football, Ryan Silverfield has been here a long time and has won a lot of football games. People should know, and I think they do, that, of course, he was a member of the staff with Mike Norvell. So he has been around this program for, I think he's in his 8th year overall, 7th or 8th year. Ryan's been here a long time. I know the narrative and what the narrative will be for this week. We got a texter that hit it right on the head yesterday. Memphis is basically, I'm paraphrasing, winning the games they should win, and unfortunately that they didn't win the games that were those that would make a difference for a coach, right? They lost the games that they were supposed to lose, and they won the games they were supposed to win, so big deal. Well, I look at it differently. I look at you can only play the games that are on your schedule, and they've won 8 of those 10. And the 2 losses are against top 25 teams. This week, they are playing an SMU team that is not a top 25 team, but a very, very good team. As I mentioned earlier, they're 10th in offensive efficiency. They're 11th in defensive efficiency. Memphis has them at home. And we talked about the schedule going into the season, how fortuitous it was for Memphis to have Tulane at home, which they didn't beat, now SMU at home, and not play UTSA at all. So I know there's going to be a lot of folks that will look at this and go, I don't care if they're 8.5-point dogs. Memphis has to win this football game. They know they have to win this football game if they are to have a chance to achieve their goals. And that's to get to the conference championship game and to win the conference championship. But to get at least in position, and they don't control their own destiny. They're going to need a little help. But they have to take care of business this weekend And that is not going to be an easy task.
No, certainly is not. The defense is going to have to figure out some way to try and stop SMU, which will not be easy with the way they have played over the recent weeks. That is not going to. That's going to be a very tough task on the defense. And if the defense can't get stops, then the offense is going to once again have to try and figure out a way to outscore somebody. And I'm just not sure that that's going to be able to happen against this SMU team like it has against these other teams that they've played. That their defenses were also terrible, a couple of them, and it's just. It's a lot to ask your offense every week to try and basically have to go get you like 40 to 50 points to try and win a game.
Is criticism warranted if you play your 12 games, win the 9 games you're favored in, and lose the 3 games you're not favored in? Is criticism warranted? Is a 9-3, if they lose this weekend and beat Temple, a 9-3 season? Is the criticism warranted?
Well, I think at that point, basically, you've achieved the basic standard for the year, especially when you consider that you'll have won every game that you were supposed to, but the struggles with some really bad teams are going to leave a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth, like having to go to pull out a miracle win against Charlotte, going to overtime to do that, and the other giving up 50 to South Florida, the UAB first half. Like there are certain things that are just going to stick out in people's minds that even if you go with 9 wins and you would just. If you remove yourself from the whole thing and say 9 wins for Memphis Tiger football and you're not happy with that, again, when you look at the way the 9 wins have come and who the 9 wins have come against, yes, there's going to be people, certainly, that find reason to criticize that season.
Oh, there will be people. I'm just asking, is it warranted? So in this situation, and I'm not saying you're wrong, style points matter. How you win.
Yes, I mean, they're always going to matter.
I mean, Missouri, nobody's giving them credit for taking Missouri down to the wire, losing by 1 score. Tennessee just got obliterated by Missouri. Of course, that was in Columbia, but this was basically a home game. People probably give them more credit
for the Missouri loss than they do for the Charlotte win.
Oh, I think that's true.
I mean, I think they are getting credit for the Missouri loss.
But if you look at
the wins that the problem has been.
But again, you won the football game. You play to win the game. I understand the criticism. I do understand that. And yes, I'm close to coach, and I do the sidelines for the games. I do understand this. I do understand the criticism. But again, I'm a bottom line guy. Win the football games. So if you're getting credit for a good battle against Missouri in the Dome, which was, come on, let's be honest, right? It was a road game. And you won everything else. And then the Tulane game, now obviously you had a lead. You had a 2-score lead in that one. You let that one go at home, and they won. But Tulane is a top 25 team. You can make excuses, obviously, and it seems like maybe I am. But I'm also looking at a team that's 8-2. Now, this is where it gets tricky. SMU. You're at home. I don't care that you're 8.5-point dog. You're at home. You've matched up with SMU for all these years. You have played some wild ones with the Mustangs. But there's no denying that SMU has a boatload of NIL money, and they have spent that NIL money, and they have brought in a lot of talent. And that's why, as I said, they are ranked where they are ranked. And I think before the latest rankings, they were in the top 10 in both offensive and defensive efficiency. I think Ryan Silverfield said yesterday at his press conference, there's only a couple schools that are in the top 10 in both. I think it's Georgia and Ohio State. So this is a big challenge. But for the Tigers fans out there, and this is more, I guess, for the marginal fan, not the fake fan, not the fan that doesn't really care about Memphis football, and not the diehards that will always applaud them no matter what. I'm talking about those right down the middle. Will they criticize for a game, again, in which you are expected to lose? If they lose the game. And again, they feel confident they're going to win the football game. But as you said, with the defense, man, when you force 4 turnovers, turn one of them into a pick 6, and still have to rally from 10 down to win, and now you're facing an SMU offensive juggernaut, you don't feel real good right now. You feel a little queasy. So how will they feel, next Monday if they don't get the dub? And that's why I'm asking, is it fair?
Part of that will depend on how do they not get it. Do they lose? Do they get blown out and they're not competitive? Is it a game that goes down to the wire? I mean, there's the way it happens determines a lot. Listen, I guarantee you there are a pretty decent number of fans out there that don't like Ryan Silverfield who want them to get blown out.
Is that a personal thing? Or they really don't think the guy's doing the job?
They don't think he's doing the job.
Again, at 8-2.
But again, they're going to say, yeah, I mean, they're.
Is this the same guys Memphis should be a top 25 team every year?
These are people say that I could coach this team to 8 wins against the competition they've played. Like, that's what I mean, again, they haven't, again, look at the teams they've beaten. There's not much.
Yes, but, and I think you would admit to this too, that when you can put a 1-minute drive together to beat North Texas, you can come back with 7 minutes to go to win any college football game down 10. A lot of that has to do with coaching, how they prepare for the game, going through their 2-minute offenses and practices, having the patience, having that great relationship with the quarterback. That all comes into play from what happens in practices in preparation for those games. Not every team, even though they're playing in an inferior opponent, rallies late to put together those victories.
No, they don't. I mean, a lot of the North Texas one comes down to the North Texas has legitimately one of the worst defenses in America.
They do. You still got to execute.
Yeah, I mean, again, guys wide open, like you got to throw it to them. But
all right,
I'm just saying, like, I'm telling you what people are going to say.
I know what people are going to say.
And they're also going to say, well, why the hell are we down with a minute to go against North Texas when we were up by 1 million in the game?
Yeah, but even the best teams in the nation fall behind and rally. Why did why did Georgia have problems with Missouri last year? Teams don't play perfect football for 60 minutes every damn week. People got to realize that. And this is Memphis. This isn't Georgia, Ohio State.
But they also, those teams aren't playing North Texas and South Florida and UAB.
I would question the Big Ten. I would question the Big Ten. You have a few teams there in a row that you play, and you got, I think, basically the week off. But no, I understand what you're saying. Keith is dialed in at 360-8255. Keith, how are you?
Oh, Lord, the opportunity of a lifetime for my Tigers, Greg. It's the opportunity. So, Missouri, they know how explosive Tigers' offense is. The defense is going to have to win it. And I'm sorry I lost money on the Buffalo Bills last night. Memphis cannot turn the ball over 4 or 5 times and expect to win the game.
Yeah, you're talking about SMU, and you said Missouri, but you mean SMU, right?
Well, no, I meant the Buffalo Bills last night.
No, I know.
They turned the ball over. Memphis cannot turn the ball over 4 or 5 times and expect to win the game.
Well, I know, and they did last week, and somehow they won. But you're right. You can't turn it over 4 times, but they were able to cause 4 turnovers and get the pick 6. But you're absolutely right, Keith. You do that against SMU, you give them more possessions, they're going to throw 70 up there. I mean, that's
Tigers didn't turn it over.
You'll be good.
Yes,
you'll be doing good to stay within.
They got 4.
They turned it over 4 times too.
If you turn it over, yes.
There were 8 turnovers in that game. They fumbled it twice. Hennigan threw a pick, and Tevin Carter threw a pick. There was
4. They had 4.
Yeah, there were 8 turnovers in that game. Keith, I got you, my friend. Thank you so much. I know it's a big game. It's a big opportunity. Greg is next. Hey, Greg, how are you?
Hey, man. How you doing, Greg?
Doing fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks for taking my call. Look, I've been wanting to call you guys for the last couple of days and talk about these unrealistic Memphis fans. Ryan Silverfield has done an excellent job for a non-traditional football school in a non-traditional football conference. And I look around the nation and see all these coaches getting fired, and I look at what Ryan Silverfield has done. Now, I know Memphis has had a little track record of good coaches and good football, but the guy is doing an outstanding job because he's winning games. He went to Missouri and did something that Tennessee couldn't do. And I'm looking at it, I said, you got these fans that...
Well, they didn't win, Greg. They didn't win Missouri. Let's make sure we... Okay.
But you're being really unrealistic for Memphis. This is Memphis. I follow Memphis football. I love Memphis football, but I'm realistic enough to know this is Memphis. No, we're not Louisville, and we're not going to be there because we haven't invested in football in Memphis. So, winning 8 games and winning games that you should win, and Memphis fans, I mean, okay, who going to come here and do what Brian Fitzsimmons has done? Where you going to go find a coach that can come in here and replicate what he's done?
Well, Norvell came in here and got him to the Cotton Bowl, and nobody knew who that guy was. So it's doable, right?
I mean, Silverfield himself has said that all they've done the last 2 seasons before this was basically the bare minimum by getting to 6-6.
Okay, but then the ACC, a stronger conference. Memphis fans are unrealistic. Now, Texas A&M fans, they got a right to kind of money they're paying this guy. But Memphis fans are unfair, unrealistic, and I tell you, if they get rid of Brian Silverfield, it's gonna come back to hunt. It's gonna come back to hunt the program. Right. I just feel that way.
I hear you, Greg. Thanks for listening. Thanks for calling in. Really appreciate that. Did you look it up with the fumbles? Remember Blake Watson was trying to go in for the touchdown. He fumbled again into the end zone there at the 1 yard line. So it was a turnover fest in that game. But to Keith's,
I was thinking about the Carter interception.
Oh, but to the Keith's point, you turn it over 4 times to SMU, you have no chance. Now Brian did say if we get 4 turnovers against SMU, we should win the football game, and that was the problem last week. So you get 4 turnovers. The defense is much maligned for a reason, right? They've given up a lot of yards, a lot of points, okay? But at times in games, they've made plays. Like down the stretch, they had to get that stop after they had scored the touchdown to allow Tanner Gillis to kick the field goal to send it to overtime. So the defense got the stop there. They got 4 picks. They got a pick 6. But yet other times they get steamrolled where it seems like the running backs gash them for 30, 40 yards at a clip, and all of a sudden they're down the field in 30 seconds. That's what drives people crazy, and I'm sure it drives the coaching staff crazy as well.
We do have a correct answer in the Humdingers trivia. Again, there are 3 teams that have never had an MVP award winner. Now, 2 of them are the newer franchises at Arizona and Tampa Bay, which is really crazy a little bit that Tampa Bay's never had one because of the success Tampa Bay's had, but they've never had an MVP. Do you know the 3rd one?
Boy, I have to think about it here.
Jacksonville.
Oh,
I thought this was football. I'm sorry. My bad.
My gosh.
I thought
go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. I'll need you for a tiebreaker in a second, though.
Minnesota? No, they probably had Carew might have won it. Give me a hint.
It's National League.
National League. Milwaukee?
They just had one a few years ago with Kristen Yelich.
I don't know. Who is it?
The New York Mets.
My God. You know what? The first team I thought it was the Mets, and I go, no, didn't Keith Hernandez win?
When he was a Cardinal.
When he was a Cardinal. Okay. There you go. The New York Mets, Jerry.
I mean, think about all the money they've spent and everything else. They've never had an MVP award winner.
Wow. How about that?
So the Rays, Diamondbacks, and Mets are the 3 teams that have never had an MVP. We do have a 2-way tie here, Zach. So I need you to choose Bismack or Biombo.
Both. I take the whole.
We need both. Yeah, we need both.
We need both. Give me Bismack.
Bismack. All right. Bismack is going to be the winner. Not Bismack the person, but the one I had assigned to Bismack will be notifying you, letting you know how you are going to collect your prize, a $25 gift certificate to Humdingers.
On 3 Sports, which covers recruiting and transfer portal and NIL and all that stuff, they are reporting that Quinn Ewers is returning to Texas for the 2024 season, which is interesting. Arch Manning is fine so far. Redshirted, not playing. But Quinn Ewers, again, according to this report, expected to return to Texas as the Longhorns move in to the SEC. Second hour of the program brought to you by our friends at James Gaddis Jewelers. They are your family's jeweler, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. If you're looking for something special for that special one in your life, and you probably have multiples, head on over to James Gaddis Jewelers for your wife, for your girlfriend, for your daughter, for your granddaughter, and, of course, for the men in the household as well with their beautiful watches and other fine jewelry. But James Gaddis Jewelers has everything you need: bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants, all types of gemstones, custom-made jewelry, plus estate and vintage jewelry, and they're always adding to their collection. They'll buy your gold, silver, and diamonds. They have 2 repair experts to help you with your fine watches and jewelry, and, of course, they are your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters. So if you're thinking of popping the question during the holiday season, you're looking for that special diamond ring, head on over to James Gaddis Jewelers. Layaway and financing is available. You need something appraised, bring it on over there as well. It's James Gaddis Jewelers. They've been part of the Memphis fabric, a part of this city for a long, long time. 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com.
Brewers have had 5, by the way.
5 MVPs. Let me think. 5. Robin Yount.
He's got 2.
Yelich. We're probably going back to, I don't know if they Cy Young and Hank Aaron didn't win one when he was in Milwaukee. They moved to Atlanta. They didn't give one to like Warren Spahn or anything, did they?
No.
Is it more modern?
There's one that was not too long ago at all.
Not Prince Fielder didn't win one, did he?
No. Ryan Braun.
Oh, Braun. I forgot about Braun.
And then Raleigh Fingers.
Raleigh Fingers. Did he win the Cy and the MVP in the same year?
I assume he got the Cy Young Award. I'm not sure if he got the Cy Young Award.
Didn't Willie Hernandez have that with the Tigers in 84? I think he got, right, the MVP and the Cy Young. All right, when we come back, we're talking University of Memphis Athletics with Jeff Crane. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
It doesn't matter if you're at the lake, if you're hunting, fishing, playing golf, or just playing around, Scooters Plus can hook you up with the mobility that you need. Scooters Plus has the largest vehicle and parts inventory in the Mid-South and the best service department. You can choose from ATVs, UTVs, golf carts, motorcycles, dirt bikes, trikes, scooters, and even electric bikes. Come in today to start or wrap up your holiday shopping with 25% down on Christmas layaways. Scooters Plus, 3425 Summer Avenue. Call Sam at 458-8843 or go online to scootersplus.us.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
It's the Black Friday sales event on now at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. And Gossett's got no payments for 90 days. So keep your holiday money in your pocket and get to Gossett today. 2023 Jeep Renegade, $5,000 off or buy it for $25,040. 2023 Grand Wagoneer Series 111, $10,000 off. And 2023 Jeep Gladiator, we Gossett at $12,000 off MSRP. It's your time to buy during the Black Friday sales event at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett on the Pike or shop online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Renegade
Triple P 57091, MSRP 30040, Wagoneer PS 508 331, MSRP 112,285, Gladiator PL 509834, MSRP 688,815. Financing and deferred monthly to well-qualified buyers through Chrysler Capital or Stellantis Financial Services. Take retail delivery by 11/30/23. Includes all rebates and incentives. 695 PF. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
My dad has a cold, but also has high blood pressure. That's why I got him Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure for max strength daytime relief. Unlike some ordinary cold medicines, it's specially formulated for people like my dad. DayQuil High Blood Pressure is sugar-free, alcohol-free, and decongestant-free.
Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure. The daytime, non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, cold, and flu for people with high blood pressure.
Like my dad.
Medicine. Use as directed.
The 8-2 Memphis football team is home for a huge conference game against SMU this Saturday, November 18th. It's a blackout, so wear black and cheer hard for the biggest game of the season. Tickets start at just $20 as Memphis football continues to work toward a berth in the American Championship game. Be at Simmons Bank, Liberty Stadium, Saturday, November 18th. Purchase your tickets today at GoTigersGoTix.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Traffic still looking good right now as you make your way in on 385 Billmores Parkway coming in from Collierville. They're working a 4-car crash, at least they were a few minutes ago, at Hickory Hill at Rains Road. That should be out of there hopefully in just a few more minutes. They got one more vehicle to move. Traffic still a little bit heavy on the interstate here on 40 westbound at 269 coming in from Fayette County all the way up to Whitten Road. Weimer's Jewelry is gearing up for the holiday season. Go by and see them and save and shop local at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
If you missed it from earlier, topic for tomorrow's 5 favorite things, your 5 favorite athletes, college or pro, that were born in the Memphis metropolitan area. Your 5 favorite athletes, college or pro, born in the Memphis metropolitan area.
Born here?
Born here. Absolutely born here. They couldn't have come when they were 5 or 3 or played college ball only. They were born in the area, but they may have started somewhere else. College or pro.
Check the birth records of people.
Well, I'm not going to be that stringent. But, you know, we kind of have an idea of the folks that were born in this area. Like, for example, you want to use Austin. Well, Austin Riley actually was born in Memphis, but he went to school at DeSoto Central, correct?
Yes.
But he was born here. You know, anybody born in the area. 5 favorite professional or collegiate athletes. It's time now to talk University of Memphis athletics with Jeff Crane.
It's time to talk Memphis Tigers athletics. Joining Greg and Eli is University of Memphis Deputy Athletics Director Jeff Crane. Here's Jeff with Greg and Eli.
Jeff Crane, University of Memphis Deputy AD, joins us every Tuesday to talk Memphis athletics. You can follow him on Twitter at jcrane75. Is this the busiest time normally of the year for you guys as far as athletics are concerned because everything comes together?
Good morning, guys. Yeah, it is a wild and crazy time on campus, but so many good things happening. Gosh, I mean, in the last week we've had wins in men's and women's basketball, football, women's soccer, men's soccer going to the NCAA tournament. I mean, just lots of excitement around campus, lots of buzz, but a busy time indeed.
It's interesting. You had the game last night in Knoxville where the Tigers played the Lady Vols tooth and nail all the way to overtime before falling. We had a Tennessee Vols fan that called up and said, yeah, you're not going to be able to keep her long. I'm like, oh, no, that's the last thing that Laird and Jeff and everybody wants to hear, Lauren wants to hear. I mean, Alex Simmons, even though it was an L and nobody's in the moral victories, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, I think it just shows you the grit and the heart that our team has, and certainly take on the personality of the coach. And And Coach Simmons, being a former Vol herself, I know that team was wanting to give her the win there in Knoxville. But they fought hard and proud of that effort. And lots of basketball still to play with the season just getting underway. So I encourage folks to come out to El Marone Fieldhouse and check them out because as we've talked, this is Coach Simmons' first year, but we just don't think we're going to even miss a beat in terms of our ability to remain competitive in women's basketball.
Well, speaking of good efforts, it was a heck of an effort by the men's team up at Missouri to kind of, put people on notice, I guess, that certainly they are capable of doing some big things, almost cracked the top 25. They're just outside the top 25 and the others receiving votes. So I know everybody's got to be pretty pleased with what happened last Friday night.
No question. I think one of the best parts as I watched it, and Greg and I were watching it together there in Charlotte, was watching that team come back from being down. I mean, they just never looked like they were rattled. They just stayed the course and really just broke through. The amazing thing is too, as you look at that team, I'm not sure anybody on our starting five has ever played together, and so that team's going to get better. That's the world of college basketball now, that you take 5 guys or ladies and try to build them into a team, and they're already playing really well as a team. So lots of excitement. In fact, our next home game this Friday night. Looking forward to a big crowd there at FedEx Forum.
As Eli alluded to, it kind of puts everyone on notice, but I think for fans who maybe have been patiently waiting to see what this team will be about, is it worth our while to purchase season tickets or just individual game tickets? I think they saw that product and it really came to life in that second half. I mean, they win by 15. They were down 14 at one point, and they were pulling away in the end. So I would think, Jeff, that it will ignite maybe some ticket sales and get some people fired up for the home schedule this season.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We have seen an uptick in the last 48 hours in terms of our ticket sales for men's basketball, and we do still have season tickets available. We have really good ones, in fact, still available in the lower level. Lots of games still remaining on the schedule. With I think at this point we've only played one home regular season game. So definitely encourage folks to do that. And single game tickets and other packages. In fact, we've got a Friday, Saturday night combo pack. It's the men's basketball game and football game on Friday, Saturday for only $49. So,
wow,
great way you can come out and see both of those programs over the weekend.
The speaking of that, and you bring that special ticket up, but we had gotten a text from somebody asking if y'all were doing any promotions, basically to try and pack the stadium for the SMU game.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we've got some to be announced soon. We actually did the blackout deal last week because it is a blackout on Saturday, and sold $10 tickets for about a 3-4 day period in there, and sold several thousand on that deal. And we have another opportunity that we're going to be releasing here in the next 24 hours to continue that excitement and sale for that game. So we're certainly expecting the biggest crowd of the year on Saturday, 11 o'clock. It's going to be a beautiful day and great opportunity for our football program. You want to put your program in a position, if you're Coach Silverfield and the staff, to be relevant in November. And there aren't a whole lot of programs that are still playing games that matter in November. And this game matters for us, and we need everybody in Memphis out there cheering us on against SMU on Saturday.
With this game still to come, and as you said, maybe the biggest crowd, hopefully the biggest crowd of the season, have you guys been pleased with the attendance, with the tickets that have been sold for football this season?
We're averaging over 30,000 a game this season. We always want more. We certainly always want a full stadium when we can get it. But we have been pleased with the attendance. We've been especially pleased with the student attendance. as we've been tracking it for about the last decade, best student attendance that we've had over the course of a season since we've been tracking it. So those are all good signs for the future. And as I mentioned before, our single game sales are hitting record numbers this year as well. People's buying habits are changing, and more folks buying single game tickets as opposed to season tickets. So, we want to be in that 40,000 range. But we are happy and thankful for all the fans that have come out this season, and another big opportunity this weekend.
And I would imagine you were happy with the fans that came out to support the women's soccer team last weekend.
Yeah, incredible. In fact, that was a record at our facility. Almost 3,000 people in the stadium when it was all said and done, which is so exciting for our women's soccer team to be able to play an NCAA game right here on our campus. We've only been playing soccer on campus for, I think, 4 or 5 years. We were playing at Mike Rose for quite some time. So really big deal for that program. And they head over to Fayetteville and play Notre Dame later this week. So another big opportunity for them to show how great Memphis is at women's soccer. So proud of that program and Coach Monaghan and his staff and the great work over a number of years that has kind of built up to this point where we have a top 10 women's soccer program.
Well, soccer's not over at the home field because you have the men get into the NCAA tournament. They'll play Eli's alma mater, SIUE, in the first round on Thursday. So your chance to watch some more soccer over at the South Campus. Second straight year that the men have made the tournament.
Yeah, so awesome. You got the men and the women both getting into the NCAA tournament for the second straight year. It's been a great fall for our programs, and so certainly encourage folks to come out and cheer on our men's soccer program. I don't think last year we got a win in the NCAA tournament, so this would be a big step for our program to get a win in the NCAA tournament. And as we've seen on the women's side, when our fans come out and support our soccer programs, really makes a difference and helps push us over the edge and to the opportunity to win. So certainly hope to see a lot of folks out there on Thursday night.
So unfortunately, you got that tough draw against my Cougars, but hey, it's going to be a battle. National powerhouse Cougars coming to town. Those guys are tough. Those are a tough team up there in SIUE.
I have no doubt Coach Mulrooney will have the guys ready to go, but we're not taking anybody lightly. I can assure you of that.
Last week at Charlotte, I thought it was a really nice contingent of Tigers fans that made the trek to Charlotte. And we talk about attendance, and you're talking about averaging over 30,000. You'd like to see 40,000 for Saturday. And then you see some of the venues that Memphis has played at this year. Nice venues where nobody was at the games, to be honest with you. So, people get on the case of, what do the Tigers draw? 30,000 on average is pretty good, and especially in this conference, it's really good. But last week, the traveling contingent I thought was impressive.
Yeah, I think it's fun for our fans because now we've got some new teams in the league. They have an opportunity to go to new places and travel, and we've seen that. I mean, we've seen several hundred of our fans at every one of our games, and several thousand there at Arkansas State to start the year in Jonesboro. So, it's challenging across the country. Less people travel to games, and there's so many opportunities to watch games through other mediums, and so it's a challenge. But we believe that there's nothing better than getting to that stadium and feeling the energy when you're right there in the stadium. So that continues to be what drives us, and looking forward to that next opportunity on Saturday.
All right, finally, the obligatory stadium question. Break some news, Jeff. Come on, what do you got for us?
Yeah, sure. I wish I've been hopeful that one of these calls we could talk about movement, but we're just not quite there. But it does feel like we're weeks away as opposed to months away from having a little more clarity on where we're headed. Our processes have not stopped. we continue to finalize the design, and firmly believe that right after our season, we'll be ready to roll. So that's what we're working toward, and nothing new to report just yet.
Yeah, well, we're weeks away from the Liberty Bowl game itself, so we're closing in on a lot of things. Hopefully that news will come very, very soon. Jeff, as always, thank you so much. He's the University of Memphis Deputy AD. He is Jeff Crane. You can follow him on Twitter at jcrane75. Catch him every Tuesday right here on Sports 56 Mornings. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks so much, guys. Go Tigers, go.
Moving can be stressful, folks. If you've got a move coming up, you want to make sure you get the proper people to help you move, and you want to make sure to do that, you get the professionals. Don't just ask your friends to help you move. Get some professionals. Get the professionals from Black Tie Moving. All you got to do is give them a call, 901-316-6196, or you can go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Talk with the folks at Black Tie Moving. They work with you coming up with a plan fitting exactly what you need and fitting your budget as well. They give you a no-obligation quote up front, so you don't have any surprises or anything like that. And you get a moving concierge throughout the move, so that if you've got questions that come up, they're there to answer those questions for you 24/7. There's a lot of stuff that you got to try and figure out when you're moving. The least you would do is want to make sure you know your belongings are getting where they're going without any problems. And when you get the professionals from Black Tie Moving, you can count on that. They've got 5-star ratings online, A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. They're the best in the business. Black Tie Moving. Again, 901-316-6196, or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis.
You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Fall is in the air, and so are Choate's Early Bird Specials. Right now, receive $1,000 off the purchase of a new Carrier gas furnace. Carrier furnaces come with some of the best warranties in the industry, and Choate's has been professionally installing them for over 60 years. As a Carrier factory authorized dealer, Choate's also offers competitive financing solutions for you and your family. If your heating system is in good shape, make sure you take advantage of Choate's Early Bird Tune-Up Special for $60. This tune-up is an in-depth 20-point inspection to make sure your furnace is ready for the winter season ahead. So call 347-8086 to schedule your Early Bird Special today. And turn to the experts with Choate's and let our family serve your family.
Save on stuff you really need and stuff you bought for fun. Stuff you've always really wanted this holiday at Amazon. Stuff that is discounted if you're naughty or you're nice. Stuff to buy your grandma who drinks her Chardonnay with ice. Stuff to make you big and strong. Stuff we can name in this song. Stuff for lawns and decking halls. Save big on stuff at Amazon. Stuff.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
How long has it been since you heard the term being overstocked? Well, it's happened at Family Leisure. Yep. That means you get the savings, like select patio sets that are up to 50% off. If you need a play gym, you're in luck because they're also overstocked and start at under $2,000. pool tables, and game room items up to $700 off of in-stock items. Saunas, massage chairs, arcades, even theater seating. Special financing is available with free delivery. Family Leisure is extending sale pricing on all in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. And if you need supplies to close up your pool for the winter, Family Leisure has them up to 30% off. It's been a while since you've heard of an overstock sale, but Family Leisure is right in the middle of one. Huge deals and a huge overstocked inventory. That means great savings for you. It's happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Got a couple of texts that we'll get to here on the Tigers in just a moment. But I do have some tickets for Saturday's game against SMU that will give you an opportunity to win, to go out to the game on Saturday morning and support the Tigers and the big one against SMU. Got a 4-pack of tickets, 4 tickets for Saturday's game against SMU that we'll give to caller number 6. Caller number 6, 360-8255, 360-8255. Caller number 6 will get 4 tickets to go see the Tigers and the Mustangs on Saturday out at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Caller number 6, 360-8255 for 4 tickets for Saturday's game.
And speaking of Tigers tickets, let me mention the same thing I mentioned yesterday about the Memphis VA hospital and the way you can help out the vets go to a Tigers football game. They have a program in which you can purchase tickets for the vets by just calling Wesley at the Memphis Tigers ticket box office at 901-678-1740. You tell them you want to buy tickets for the VA hospital program. It's a program that was started back in 2015. They've sent a couple thousand vets to the games since that start date. The program has helped with veterans who deal with PTSD, rehab, and homeless veterans. People can also donate tickets that they aren't going to use. They can transfer them to the account by using John Stacy. You know John Stacy, he's a veteran and a big Tigers fan. You can use his email address, jstacy1959@gmail.com. So again, if you're not going to use your tickets or you want to purchase tickets to help out the veterans and send them to the game, please do so. 901-678-1740. Purchase a ticket for a veteran.
And we do have our winner for those for that 4-pack of tickets. A couple of texts here. Mac texts in, says, Greg, you're making excuses. We are a mediocre football team in a mediocre conference.
I never said the Tigers are a great football team. And, of course, you know what I think about the conference. I'm just saying right now, going into this game, they're 8-2. They won 8 games against the teams that, yes, you expect them to win. But nobody, unless you're a top 2-3 team, rolls through everybody and wins every single game. It's more than likely a team's going to lose one of those games. And they got close to losing against Charlotte. They got close to losing against North Texas. Their only 2 losses are to top 25 teams. I'm just speaking the facts. You can have your own opinion on what you think of the Tigers, and I'm sure that opinion will be certainly moved one way or another after Saturday's game against SMU when we talk to you again on Monday after that game.
Another texter says Memphis will get crushed by SMU. You can't hide the fact they've barely beaten 2 awful teams of late.
Well, we'll see. They may very well. SMU's an 8.5-point favorite. They're an 8.5-point road favorite at Memphis.
Denny on Facebook says, I think the situation with Silverfield is there are some Tiger fans that don't believe Coach can get Memphis to the finish line, meaning going to the AAC Conference Championship games on a regular basis now that the conference will be watered down. Also, the coach can't beat teams, can beat teams under 500, but doesn't win against teams that are 500 or better. And I think I would say that is a very good, that is the sentiment of many Tiger fans that I talk to, that they don't have the confidence that in Ryan Silverfield being able to do exactly what he's saying.
I understand.
And I don't, whether he can or not. I don't know if he can get him there. They've got a chance Saturday to put themselves in position to play in the conference championship game possibly this year. Again, they'll need a little bit of help. They need Tulane to beat UTSA, but they have put them, if they can win on Saturday and then beat a terrible Temple team, then they are in a position, and at the very least, you would say they will have competed to be in the conference championship game. One conference loss, you can't, you've put yourself in a position to have a shot at the conference championship game. And I think that's what fans believe in this conference they should be doing on a yearly basis.
I think it's somewhere in between what the folks are saying and what the caller earlier in the hour, Greg, was talking about. He does not put the blame on Ryan Silverfield. In fact, he thinks it would be a mistake if they ended up firing him, departing ways with him. Of course, that's not happening. These guys are 8-2 this year. They're not firing Ryan Silverfield. I understand the plight of the fan that says, well, we beat the teams we're supposed to beat. We can't beat anybody else. I think to a certain extent, the program was a little spoiled from what Mike Norvell brought to the table. And remember, Ryan was part of that staff. But Mike Norvell, who's got a chance to win a national championship this year at Florida State, that is an anomaly. You don't see that walking through the door that often. Getting to the Cotton Bowl is something that was fantastic. It's not happening every year. The person who said that Memphis should be a top 25 football team every year, that's ridiculous. You got to look at reality. You got to look at the reality. And the reality is with NIL, they're not a player right now compared to some of these other schools. They're doing the best they can.
To the point of Denny on Facebook, if I did and I just did some fairly quick math, in the regular season the last 2 years, if I'm not mistaken, they are 3-11 against teams that finished above 500.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
So, I mean, and that's, again, it's great to win the games you're supposed to. Mm-hmm. It would be nice to win some of the games you're not supposed to.
Right. Boise State was at home, so you expect to win. It's not a great Boise State team. They just fired their coach, but they're above 500, correct? They're 5-4? I could be wrong. They could be 5-5. Do you know?
They are, I think they're,
they're still in the Mountain West race. I know that. So, that's a good win. Again, in the conference, teams are getting...
Yeah, we'll see. I'm doing this based on where the team ends up at the end of the season.
Right, yeah. And in the conference, there are some bad teams.
Boise State is 5-5 right now. So
5-5 team. Okay. By the way, I wanted to get to this story right before we wrap up hour number 2. And in hour number 3, we'll have time to take your calls and texts in the latter part of the hour. But Zoe Goodson will join us at 9:05 from Rhodes for our Rhodes Athletics segment. But they did find out who the culprits were who stole the belongings that Colorado, when they went to play at the Rose Bowl, and they played UCLA, and they had jewelry stolen and some other items as well, cash, headphones, ended up being, according to the Pasadena police, that there were high school kids who were recruits for UCLA from Beaumont High School in Riverside County. They were there on their official visits for UCLA and went ahead and stole all those items and got caught. Can you believe that? These kids are there for an official visit to decide whether or not they want to take a full scholarship and play for the UCLA Bruins, and that's what they do. So those are the people that stole that, the kids associated with Beaumont High School, Riverside County, according to Pasadena police, and hopefully they get all those items back for those Colorado Buffalo players. You want to expect that when you go and you bring your jewelry and your wallet and all that to an away game, that it is being protected. It's secure. You don't want to walk out and know that that stuff is gone because somebody wasn't doing their job protecting that and making sure that nobody was going into the locker room. All right, we'll take a timeout. When we come back, hour 3, this is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Want to play a private country club but only pay daily greens fees? Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis is your place. You can now play a beautiful, challenging course for only $59 plus tax, including carts. Meadowbrook Country Club features champion Bermuda greens and now is available to everyone. A membership is only $350 per month and includes tennis, pickleball, and swimming, plus a great restaurant and bar. Golf Pro Mark can even fix you up with custom-made tricks on clubs. Call 870-394-4186 today for your Tuesday through Sunday tee time at Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee must finance through Hyundai, Forte LXS, PE 694,095, MSRP 21,610, Sportage R722,7239, MSRP 28,715, EVP 560, 3393, MSRP 50,200, includes all rebates and incentives, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2023 with approved credit dealer stock only.
Got Jeff Allen here from Gossett Kia, South Mount Moriah. Hey, Jeff, you ready for the holidays with the season of giving back?
I'm ready to give out some great holiday gifts and save you some big bucks. Perfect for the holiday road trips, 41 MPG Highway in a new 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $229 a month, $27.99 due at signing, or a big family that needs more room, 2024 Kia Sportage LX with class-leading cargo room and rear seat leg room, $299 a month, $34.99 due at signing.
What about an EV?
2023 Kia EV6 Wind, 134 City, 101 Highway, MPGE, $379 a month, $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease.
Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
The way they live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Memphis' oldest restaurant, Coletta's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Coletta's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Coletta's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Coletta's. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Coletta's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Coletta's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Coletta's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still a little bit of volume coming in on 385 Bill Morris Parkway as we stare at it live here up by Riverdale. Traffic still not bad as far as serious accidents. Couple of mishaps out here in the last hour or so. Still some volume making its way down I-40 westbound from Germantown Parkway all the way to Sycamore View Road. Weimer's Jewelry. They're back open better than ever, ready for the holiday season. Go by and see them at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Okay, this car looks great wrapped around you,
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
The body's a temple, that's why we're taught.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:04 the time. Hour number 3 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Tuesday, November 14th, 2023 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure. Their overstock sale continues at 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. Currently partly cloudy, 56 degrees. We're looking at a mixture of sun and clouds today, with a high getting up to about 73. Cloudy tonight with a chance of showers, about a 20% chance, and a low of around 50. It is Tuesday. It's time to talk some Rhodes athletics.
It's time to go inside Rhodes College Athletics on Sports 56 Mornings. Every week, a representative from Rhodes will join Greg and Eli to talk about all things Lynx. Let's go inside Rhodes Athletics now on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
And for the first time in studio, Rhodes head basketball coach Zoe Goodson joins us. You can follow him on Twitter at Zoe Goodson. Had you on the horn last week. Here in studio, in the flesh, back from Colorado. How are you, my friend?
Doing all right. You know, we got a rough start here this season, but I'm doing all right. Encouraged.
It's a long season, but let's give everybody a recap of what happened. You opened up with Belhaven midweek last week. You lost that one down in Jackson, 85-70. That's Jackson, Mississippi. Then you go all the way out to Colorado. You're down a lot. You come back, and in the end, they get you 82-81. Now, you are playing shorthanded. You got some injured players. You got some upperclassmen that are hurt. I know you're not going to make the excuses. Maybe I am making the excuses there, but you battled back on Sunday. So 0-2 start, but overall, again, with all those circumstances I just mentioned, what do you think of the team?
We're going to be fine. You know, with time, I've said it all along. We're young. I knew we were young coming into the year. And I also didn't do them any favors by starting off on the road. 2 road games. A Belhaven team that's very mature. They had 8 upperclassmen, 5 juniors and seniors that started. Some super seniors as we're still working through the COVID extra year. And then go to Colorado Springs. Same thing. 9 juniors and seniors playing against a bunch of freshmen and sophomores and 1 senior on our end. Again, no excuses. We knew what we were going into. Very encouraged at what we're seeing. The guys, we had a lot of young guys yesterday that got major minutes, or 2 days ago. They got major minutes that stepped up and did a really good job.
So that when you talk about playing shorthanded guys out with injury, that gives obviously other guys opportunity to step in there, which you hope pays dividends later in the year because it just helps your depth going forward, right?
Absolutely, and that's what we found on Sunday is we had guys that had gotten some opportunities but maybe hadn't made the most of them in the past and came in, did an unbelievable job. You know, you look at a guy like Mike Wagner, he's a sophomore, played behind a senior the entire year last year, senior that averaged the most minutes in the league. And it was incredible. Jeff Walker, a local guy here, he played behind him all year. So didn't get a lot of opportunity. Comes in yesterday, he had a really rough weekend on a personal note, but came in on Sunday. I keep saying yesterday, I'm sorry, but came in on Sunday, did an incredible job. He was plus 21 in his 14 minutes of play. He was in on, we were down 27 when he goes in. And, it was a part of the big turnaround. Got a foul in the corner on a 3, knocked it down. He just had an incredible game. So there's a guy that really is a freshman because he didn't play hardly at all last year. And he's coming in and had a very impactful game. And so you get guys like that. You get a guy like Heath Seawright. I'm glad we're talking about this because here's a guy that we haven't even talked about. You guys came in as a practice player, was begging for a spot, just begging for a spot. Couldn't. He said, Coach, all I need is an opportunity. I said, well, we need a practice player. So you're not going to get to travel. You're probably not going to dress all year. Injuries hit, right? The injury bug hits. We got to have him. We got to fill out a roster. We take him on the road. We get halfway through the first half, put him in the game, leads us to an 8-0 run to get us back in the game. And it starts the second half because he's just playing so hard. Defensive player of the game. So you're right. There's opportunities that are, and the guys are making the most of them right now.
You can't measure heart, first of all.
Can't.
But you mentioned being encouraged. When you're down 27 on the road in a beautiful setting like Colorado, these kids can easily have just folded the tent and let's just go home. And they battled back. And again, you lose a tight one that goes down to the wire. So, yeah, I can understand why you're encouraged.
Absolutely. There's a timeout at the under 16, I believe it was, somewhere in the 15-minute mark. I just told him, I was like, look, we have 2 options right now. You're either you can fold because that's the easy path. The easy path that's been laid, it's paved, it's smooth. We can go that route because everybody before you's done it in several other sports. I said, or we can go create our own path. Let's make a game out of it. Let's get better these last 15 minutes and see what we can do. Let's go on a run. We cut the lead from 27 to 20. And it was 7.5 to go. I did the math. I said, look, in college basketball, average about 3.2 possessions per team a minute if you're playing up-tempo like both teams were. So we got about, 21 to 24 possessions here. We're down 20. Fellas, we're going to get hot. We're going to get back in this thing. And they followed. I mean, they went out and did it. And they kept working. We changed the defense on them several times. Our guys adjusted and converted quickly. Colorado struggled with the changing defenses, and our guys did a much better job rebounding in the last 7 minutes, which is exactly what got us back in the game.
When you have a lot of young players, obviously you've got practice time and you see them going against each other. But how important is it from a coaching's perspective to really judge players on seeing them in game action?
That's literally what it is, right? I mean, I tell people all the time, there are really good practice players that when the lights come on, that kind of fizzle out.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's really, really okay practice players, and that's to say it in a nice way, that when the lights come on and the popcorn's popping, it's their time to go. And so you really get to see that. But the difference that I tell people all the time, they're really, really good and great players. They know how to bring it every day because they know that they got to take advantage of this time to get better, not just go when the lights are on. And so we have a couple of those right now that we're trying to make them understand. If you really want to be a great player, because you have the ability to be a great player at this level, you got to start bringing it every day. And so I had a great conversation with the players yesterday, and he was very receptive. The one thing I'll tell you, we had a lot of guests in practice all week and former coaches and whatnot, and they're like, Coach, these guys are so dialed in, and they listen to everything you're saying. And when you're teaching or bringing up something new into the fold, there's no guys rolling their eyes. They're locked in. So we have very coachable guys, and we're really, really lucky for that.
So what makes a guy, what is it when you've got a great practice player that, as you said, like when the lights come on, just can't carry that over? How do you try and unlock that out of that guy?
For me, I try not to bring it up a lot, right? I don't want to make it a complex for him. So what I'll do is we will try to put him in a situation. I'll try to go back to a film and, okay, he's really good when we run this play. So I'm going to start the game. Or as soon as he goes in, I'm going to run this play for him. We're gonna build the confidence and really show him that we still believe in him. And that's what I told the guys after the game 2 days ago is the belief's got to be there. And if they ever see us waver in their belief, it's going to really settle in. So we got to make sure that we showcase that.
It's interesting you use the word complex because I was just going to bring up when you talked about switching the defenses the way you did against Colorado and it had them rattled a bit. How complex is your offense, defensive strategy with these guys? And obviously, these are intelligent kids. They grasp the system. Whatever you have installed, they seem to have grasped it. But how complex would it be as opposed to some of the other stops where you've coached?
For us, there's no doubt that we are a very complex system.
Okay.
And we started every year a little slow because it takes time to understand. I mean, our offense, we are very disciplined, and when we drive this way, you cut this way. When we drive this way, you shift this way. I mean, and our defense is no different. I mean, our defensive system is, we have what we call a rover, and a lot of people are going to be like, what the heck are you talking about? But like, we are very help and recover oriented, but we have what we call a rover. It takes weeks and weeks and weeks to understand what our big man rover is doing. And as a help side, if you're a guard and you're on the help side, you got to understand why he's thinking he's got to rover this way. And then if he rovers this way, I got to go this way. So there's no doubt it takes time, and it's going to take a lot of time. We're just now tapping into our zones. We haven't even fully put all of our zone defenses in. So it takes a lot of time. That's why I always tell people it's the game of basketball, and if you have a system where you have 40-plus offensive plays and a system where you're running several different defenses, you may lose early to win late. And so you got to take some of those lumps early, but also just make sure that the guys are grasping what you're doing and move on and keep getting better. We put in 2 new zones. Well, part of that new zone that we didn't get to was we taught them a piece of how to rebound out of it, but we didn't get real deep into it going into the weekend. It's really early in the year still, right? And so you got to everything is broken down piece by piece, and it just takes time.
When you have a game like that where you are getting blown out and then you make that comeback, what afterwards are you trying to break down, like, wait, why was this and this? Like, was it the players who were on the court, combinations? Should we have been doing this differently defensively? Or is that the process of then breaking down a game like that?
Yeah, and I try not to break it down too much mentally until I watch the film. And watching the film gives you a lot of the answers. And one of the biggest answers that I've got from it was we were missing Xavier big time. When Xavier's out, he's our defensive energizer and man and in a press. And he leads us in rebounding when he's on the floor. We really missed his presence, just his energy right away. But it's not a one-man game either. And so, but the rebounding piece is what killed us in the first 30 minutes of the game, first 25 minutes of the game. We just could not rebound. And so we will work on rebounding for about 2 hours today. But that was a big difference. Whenever I made the adjustment at halftime, we got better at half. We came out on like an 8-0 run, and then we made another adjustment at the under 12 timeout to shift some of the rebounding angles. It really worked. Some of it was out of desperation just to see if it would work, and it did. And then it started taking away some of their offensive opportunities. We were getting initial stops. So it's not like we weren't getting the initial stop. It's finishing the play. And we talk about that all the time.
Were they getting a lot of offensive rebounds and second chance opportunities?
They had a ton. They had 26 offensive rebounds. 26.
Wow. So things that are, can you discover things out of desperation that you find you put in for the rest of the year?
1,000,000%. I tell people all the time, the coaching, a lot of what we do, we're just seeing if it'll stick. There's a lot of planning that goes into it, but sometimes you just throw things out there to see if it sticks, right? Like I'll see plays at high schools or colleges or whatever pros are running. I'll make a little adjustment and try it in a practice just to see if it works for us. And so I'm a big believer in you try everything. Whenever, it doesn't matter when. Even if you're winning, you're trying new things because people are always scouting you. So they're going to make adjustments. So you got to come in with a game plan to beat what you're seeing you're doing. Yeah. So you got to be prepared to make those changes.
Makes a lot of sense. Zoe Goodson is joining us. It's our weekly Rhodes segment, talking Rhodes basketball. You can follow him on Twitter at Zoe Goodson. We got the big Rhodes Classic coming up this weekend. We'll talk about that in just a moment. What coaches at the D1 level do you like to watch on television and kind of see what they're doing with their schemes, both offensively and defensively? Some may be complex, some may not be. But which are the coaches that you like to dial into?
Kelvin Sampson is my number one. I don't think I miss a Houston game if I have to have my pick because of just how hard-nosed and tough, and for a lack in a not a popular word, the bully ball that they play. Right, and so they're really he's obviously really close with Kellen, good friend of mine. But I love watching the way in his system and defensively, and then some of their schemes. Chris Beard is a dear friend. I don't think I ever miss any of his games. Go down to Oxford to watch practices. He's another guy that really follow. Obviously, you're catching a trend here. I watch a lot of coaches that are very defensive minded.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But there, and then we really. I watch a lot offensively. I like to watch a lot of the pro sets because we're
the pro sets. Okay.
Yeah, we're trending to be more of a set team with Phil and some of our scorers. We're learning here. We're week 3 or 4 into practice, and we're learning right now. We're more of a set oriented team, and so I like to watch a lot of the pro sets. And so I get a lot from that. The Synergy is a online program that every coach, every program uses, which is unbelievable for us because we can go back and watch. But if I had to say the two coaches that I really, really look up to and watch a lot of are Kelvin and Chris.
You mentioned Synergy, and there all the data that is now available to you. Like, does it almost become too much at times to try and sort through and figure out how to apply all of it?
Heck yeah. It's almost impossible to sort through all of it.
It would hurt my head, I'll tell you that much.
It is. It's mind-numbing sometimes. And so what you do is you got to find what is important to what system you're running. Spots on the floor. I'm a really, really big believer in certain areas of the floor. You're willing to give that up to take away other things. And so I try to find the data that gives us opportunities to get those teams into those areas of the floor. And when we watch it and we see, so for example, we know certain teams are really good coming off ball screens. So what are we willing to give up in that ball screen set? So if they're really bad going left into that ball screen, pulling up, or if they're really bad getting to the left side, on the left side of the floor, they're only shooting 31% compared to the 48 on the right side of the floor. Well, we're going to shift everything to the left then. And so we find ways to find it to work within our scheme, but there's just too much out there to really track it all. And we don't have 37 assistant coaches like Division I. I've got 3, and so we're just following parts of it.
How much do you use the data on your own team to try to, okay, this is probably what they're going to look at this too and say, hey, we're bad here, so this is probably what they're going to try and do to us.
So we found, we've had 4 games that Synergy has broken down for us, the 2 exhibitions and the 2 real games. We're not very good in open flowing offense. We are better in sets. So we're making the shift right now. And we've got we got a lot of sets in, but we got to get more in because we're just more productive in an action or a set than we are just free flowing right into our 5-out.
What percentage would you guess of D1 programs have that open flowing offense as opposed to a set oriented offense?
Most.
Really?
Yeah, I'd say most. I mean, that's what, and we're all preaching it because that's what the players want to come play.
Right. Right.
So we're all preaching it. So we're all in a 5-out, go to work. We'll get you in a ball screen and let you go to work. We're all preaching that, but when it comes down to it, they're trying it. But when it comes down to it, what does everybody go to late in game?
A set.
They start doing this, right? Throwing your hands up, and they go to a set. And people, players for some reason, start thinking, well, a set means we're walking it up the floor.
Right.
No, we're not. We are primary break right away. But we have now transitioned into our primary break instead of we're going right into an action or a set right away. So we're trying to get into, we have a thing, we call it, we want cross half court in 2 seconds. We want a paint touch in 8 in the first 8 seconds. So if we can't get to that paint touch in the first 8, we're flowing right into a set now. And so, but you look at the NBA, they're running sets every time. Yeah. And they're still scoring a hell of a lot of points. So we're going to be okay if we get into sets, fellas. And we proved it right there. We scored 34 points in 7 minutes the other day by running sets, running action. And Phil is a huge part of that. Phil Dotson, he makes it pretty easy. He makes me look good when we start doing that.
Well, I bet if Kevin Durant or John Morant were playing for you, you'd probably score 30 or 40 more points a game. I don't think there'd be a problem with that. All right, Rhodes Classic this weekend. Big weekend for you guys.
Huge weekend. It's also our family weekend for the basketball program. Not to get it confused with the school family weekend. We do our own family weekend because I invite all the players' families, their some of their close friends, to be a part of the whole weekend with us. Meaning, Friday night, they're coming to practice. Saturday morning, they're going to be a part of pregame meal with us. And they're going to go through the whole pregame situation. They're going to be in the locker room for the talk and the matchups, and so it's a really fun weekend for our players and their families. It's a good look for the families and friends to see how much work these guys really put into this and how hard it is to be a college athlete. And so, and to see how much, how intense it is and how serious, this is serious business for us. And so it's a really good weekend. We're going to have several people there. We got some tailgates set up for Saturday. I anticipate Saturday at 1 o'clock is going to be a rowdy atmosphere at Rhodes College.
And the games that you guys will be playing are against who?
We play DePaul out of Indiana. AUW, not
DePaul.
I think we're obligated to say that every single time. They're playing DePaul.
Yeah. Two different ones. And then we have Ozarks out of Arkansas on Sunday. So DePaul is in a similar situation as us. They're 0-2 coming in. They're very hungry. They're the same as us. They're encouraged by what they're seeing. So they're going to be really ready to go and fight for their first dub of the year. But Ozarks, exact opposites. They're 2-0. Again, a very experienced, talented team that's gonna test us in every way we can. And we got Millsaps coming in. They're the partner in this classic. So Millsaps is in the league. Mike's a great friend of mine, their head coach. So they're coming in. They're going to play Ozarks first and then DePaul on the back end.
Well, good luck in the games. Good luck in the doctor's office as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully you get some of those walking wounded back.
We'll get him back.
He is Zoe Goodson. He's the Rhodes men's basketball coach. You can follow him on Twitter at Zoe Goodson. We'll talk to you next week.
Perfect.
Best of luck to you. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. It's a simple call away. Dial up Brandon McCullough. He's the owner of the company. Locally owned and operated at 901-438-5084 or online at newroofmemphis.com. They offer financing with different plans and options to choose from, including a 6, 12, or 18-month same as cash option. They'll work with your insurance company or out of pocket, whatever it takes to get that new roof or that roof repaired. Pinnacle does both residential and commercial roofing, so business owners along with property managers and obviously homeowners, if you have a leak or any other roofing problem, call Brandon today, They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. Licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof, and all their work, satisfaction guaranteed. Carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters, put up fencing and siding. They can install shingles and rotten wood repair. Whatever you can't do yourself, call the experts at Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. Again, locally owned and operated. Call Brandon today at 901-438-5084 or online at newroofmemphis.com. We're back to your calls and texts when we return. We're going to get back into the Grizzlies as they get ready to play the Lakers tonight out in Los Angeles. The number to call in or text in, 901-360-8255. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, this is Jonah Gamble, left guard from the University of Memphis football team. Is your credit card rewarding you for everyday purchases? Southern Security has the perfect low-interest reward card that will upgrade your wallet. Max rate is 18%, no annual fees, no cash advance fees. For more information, visit southernsecurity.org or by calling our member service team at 901-452-7900. Southern Security is a proud sponsor of the University of Memphis.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Grizz Nation, it's go time. Catch your Grizzlies this Sunday at 7 p.m. when they take on Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics. Get hyped. Get ready for a star-studded show and secure tickets today by calling 901-888-HOOP or visiting Grizzlies.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Get them to sign on the line which is dotted.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Gonna put the world away for a minute. Pretend I don't
Acura Memphis is on Ridgeway, right there at 385 and online at AcuraMemphis.com. Great cars, great people, just a great experience every single time you go see the folks at Acura Memphis. Got a great service department as well. If you need any service done on your vehicle, the folks at Acura Memphis will take good care of your car and good care of you as well when you are there. Go by and see them at Acura of Memphis. A couple other texts here on the Tigers football. David says, I'm not even excited for Saturday because I know we're not that good. And I want Silverfield to go because he's just not the guy.
So let me ask this to David. If they went out and beat SMU on Saturday, team that's going to the ACC, by the way, and then beat Temple and played in the conference championship game, beat Tulane, is he still not the guy? I mean, has he already made up his mind, it seems like? That no matter what he can do the rest of the year, it doesn't matter.
Well, I'm sure he doesn't believe that's going to happen. So
right, but does he?
As he said, he's not even excited for Saturday. So I assume he believes that Saturday they don't really have much of a chance.
Right, but if they win, does he jump back on the bandwagon? You know, those kind of fans that drive me crazy. Right, but his prerogative, he can do whatever he wants. But all of a sudden, then he's preaching the gospel of Ryan Silverfield if he wins. He doesn't think he's going to win. There's a lot of people that don't think he's going to win. The odds makers don't think he's going to win. They're 8.5-point dogs at home. So, yeah, I can understand. And you're entitled to that opinion. But I would like to know what happens if he does. Do you change your mind?
Raider Corey says, when sports fans call or text, it's important to have objective commentary with no personal ties with the program. I'm an alum of the school. Yes, the Greg gentleman who called in made some good points. But if we just want to beat the teams we should beat and lose to the teams we're supposed to, then it's fair to stop asking casual fans to pack the stadium. I'm an alum, so I'm there regardless.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. But again, what are the real expectations of the Memphis Tigers football program? I can tell you about the NIL. And right now, unfortunately, it's dictating everything. The NIL and what SMU's been able to pay their players. And then obviously what their boosters were able to pay to get into the ACC. Money makes the world go round. And with Memphis, that NIL, while they're trying extremely hard, it's just not comparable to some of the other schools. So is it fair to say that they should be in the conference championship conversation every single year? I don't know. Basketball-wise, the NIL money is a lot more. A lot more. And yes, I would say that they need to be playing for a conference championship in this conference every year. Football, I don't see it. I think football, they're a top 4 or 5 team. It's unfortunate where they are right now. And I do see South Florida. I see Florida Atlantic. I even see UAB putting more money, starting to put more money in the program, getting more money in the NIL. East Carolina will do the same thing, and it's going to tighten up the race in the American Conference. But as long as Tulane's still here, right now, Tulane has got the money. They got the coach. They're going to be at the top. UTSA is really good. Memphis should be right there. You're losing SMU. But I'm saying these other teams, on paper, they stink. And the product has stunk. But I think it will get better. I expect Tom Herman, if he stays at Florida Atlantic, to be able to increase that NIL and get players.
But I think that's what scares fans. If you're saying those teams are going to get better, well, we're barely squeaking by them now, and they're terrible.
I know it's a legitimate concern. I'm saying it's a legitimate concern. I was just mentioning. I didn't say that texter was. I disagreed to a certain extent with him, but I understand where he's coming from, and I certainly think you're entitled to that opinion. I'm just saying what happens if he does get over the hump. It's all about getting over the hump. Ryan's talked about the last couple of years, bare minimum, getting to a bowl game. I can understand, even though they have this great bowl streak going, that fans are like, okay, I'm kind of tired of the bowl game. Well, they did go to the Cotton Bowl not too long ago, and to me, that more is more an anomaly. It is not certainly going to be something that you're going to see all the time. You're going to get that opportunity. They're going to change, by the way, the format for this first 12-team playoff. That's going to change. But you're still going to have one opportunity as a group of 5 participant to get in with your conference championship and hope that you're the highest and you're part of the top 6. Because that's the only way you're getting in. But at least there's a pathway. Can Memphis find that pathway? Yeah, maybe once in a blue moon they'll be able to find that pathway. But to think that they can consistently find it right now with the situation they're in, no, they can't. Let's be realists about this.
Well, if you're competing for the American Conference Championship game, and the American Conference probably year in and year out should be at least near the top of the Power 4 conferences.
Mm-hmm.
that if you're competing to be in the conference championship game, you're competing to get into the playoff.
Yeah, it's not a guarantee, but you're right. You certainly got a chance. I mean, the door's open at least from this format, but now the door's closing a little bit more because they're going to get rid of the 2 opportunities.
Well, yeah,
the Pac-12's
it was never going to be 6 once the Pac-12 was gone.
Right.
They were never going to do that for any time. It was always going to go to 5 because they're not going to let the Big Ten and SEC. They're not going to make the Big Ten and SEC get mad and say screw y'all.
Exactly.
Another texter says, I'm super fired up for Saturday. Can't believe people are mad. We're 8-2, and we lost to a team by 7 that beat Tennessee by 30. Again, there certainly are 2 ways of viewing the way this season has gone so far, and a lot of it is determined by, from what I gather from the fans I talk to, the way you view this season so far is directly related to how you viewed Ryan Silverfield coming into the year.
Yeah, I agree.
It is. If you didn't like Ryan Silverfield coming into the year, you will say, we haven't beaten anybody that's any good, and we have struggled with some bad teams that it took a miracle to beat. But if you like Ryan Silverfield and kind of always have the blue-colored glasses on, you'll say, we're 8-2. We played Missouri close. We played Tulane close. Those are 2 really good teams. Missouri's, I don't know where they are in the rankings, but Missouri's
they're up there.
Top 15, top 20 team. And we went up to a neutral field and lost by 7. Tulane's a really good team. And we had them down by 10. Yeah, we blew the lead, but we had them down by 10. We've shown we can play them. If we get another chance at them, maybe we can beat them. But I mean, there's not a whole lot of in between on Ryan Silverfield and the way this season is viewed.
Yeah, and which shocks me that he's a polarizing figure. It's like I've never seen this much division between Tigers fans. And again, that's assuming that some of the negative things, the people that want a change are real Tigers fans, and I'm going to assume that they are.
Oh, I know a lot of real Tiger fans who
I do
want
too.
change.
And I do too, and that's why I said that. But I've never seen as much division about a coach. It's usually unified when it comes to football. Like us against the world. We love Norvell. We love Fuente. We hated Larry Porter, even though he's a native son and a former Tiger great. We didn't like his coaching ability. And then before that, it was really, people didn't even care about football. At least they care. I love that the fact that people have an opinion about Tigers football. And, we look at the attendance and look at the, well, maybe a couple of those games, there wasn't as many as what they said, but the average of tickets sold per game this year at the home games is over 30,000 now. And I would expect they'll get 35,000 on Saturday. That's pretty good. I was just in Charlotte in a stadium that seats 15,000. There's probably 500 Tigers fans and probably another 6,000 Charlotte fans. I was in Birmingham. There was nobody there. I was in Denton. There was hardly anybody there. Now, granted, the weather wasn't the best, but Memphis does pretty good for where they are. And if they were in the Big 12 or the ACC, the SEC, for goodness sakes, place would be packed. There'd be so many more Tigers fans that would jump on the bandwagon. But it is what it is. And for me to be able to talk each week mostly about wins and bowl games is a far cry from when I came here in the mid-'90s and this team would win 3 games. And when they won like 7-3. Now you're seeing, if you want excitement, you're seeing excitement. Now you don't want to have a heart attack watching this team, but that's the way they are.
Another texter says, who do the fans want to be the next Tigers head coach? Well, they want
Nick Saban, I'm sure.
No, what fans want, the ones who want Silverfield don't think Silverfield is the guy. They don't necessarily, most of them don't have a name.
Right.
They want the next Mike Norvell or the next Justin Fuente. They want that guy, whoever that is. They don't know that guy. They didn't know Mike Norvell before he came here. They didn't know Justin Fuente before him. But they want that. Like, they want that person.
Yeah.
They believe, but the thing is, that's hard to find.
Yeah, how many Mike Norvells are walking through the door?
That's you have to it's hard to hit those home runs, and they did a great job with back-to-back hires in finding those guys that did a great job. It's but yeah, that's a difficult process to go through. So, and there's the other thing, a lot of people that don't like Ryan Silverfield. Part of the reason they don't like him is because they believe he was just given the job and didn't deserve it in the first place. That they didn't go through the process. Mm-hmm. They had this process that they used to go find Justin Fuente and Mike Norvell, and they chose not to use that process to find the next guy. If you've got a process that works, continue to do it. Instead, this one, a lot of people feel they just gave it to Ryan Silverfield without going to look to see if they could find that next Fuente or Norvell. And so Ryan Silverfield came in those fans already doubted him, and he needed to win them over. He hasn't done enough to win them over to this point. Right,
but again, clamoring back to maybe there should have been a national search and maybe not even hired to begin with and all that. That's history. That is so old now. He's been here. He's been the head coach since, what was his first year, 19?
20.
Since 20. He's 29-18. He's going to a bowl game every year. He's 2-1 in the bowl games. Again, it's solid. It's not something it's not Hall of Fame status, but
those fans, they say, okay, we don't like the fact that you gave him this job without doing a search, but hey, let him prove it to us. He hasn't done that to them because he hasn't really beaten anybody. He's gone 6-6, 6-6. Now he's got a good record, but he hasn't beaten anybody. They're waiting for him to prove it to them. And until he gets that big signature win or does something, those doubts are not going to be removed from their minds.
Which wins would you consider his biggest wins? Does he not have an SEC win or not?
They beat Mississippi State the one year.
Yeah, they beat Mississippi State.
On the punt return, whether it was the ball downed or not.
Oh, okay. That stuff. Well, again, now, I'm not saying you're using it, but that'll be the excuse. It should have been down. No, I mean, they beat them. They beat Mississippi State. Got a winner from Mississippi State. So, again, I mean, but people look, the way the negative people, and again, I shouldn't say negative, the people that are anti-Silverfield talk about like this guy's been a disaster. Like this is Larry Porter. Again, I just gave you his record. I understand, though, the plight of those fans this year. I understand. But again, 8-2 is 8-2. I mean, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? You can only play the games that are in your schedule. It's not his fault, and it's not the school's fault that they're in a crappy conference. You're going to play some bad teams, but they're winning all those games. Okay, so it's a last-second win, and it's an overtime win. It's still a win. If those were losses, it would be a different conversation.
And the other thing about the Mississippi State win that really hurt him, he followed the Mississippi State win up by blowing the huge lead to UTSA,
right?
Going to Temple and losing to a bad Temple team, and then losing at Tulsa. So he followed that up with a 3-game losing streak, blowing a big lead and losing to 2 bad teams.
Yeah, and I'm not going to sit here and make excuses, but there were a couple of things that happened in those games. That UTS game should never. I mean, they were dominating that game, and then they just turned it around physically. UTSA.
Those were 3 games they were favored in and lost all 3 of them.
Was that the Magnifico game, or was that not even Ryan Silverfield? Was it the Magnifico, the whole catch no catch thing? Yeah, there was that, and then if I remember correctly, Tulsa, that was when we didn't have the field goal kicker. I think that was all mess up thing too. But yeah, there are excuses. I understand that, and there needs to be a signature win. And Saturday is that opportunity. Saturday is that opportunity. But again, it's going to be crazy on Monday if they don't win, because people are going to be coming out of the woodwork, even though they are an 8.5-point underdog in this game. Crazy Coop, you're thinking about doing a little tailgating for the Tigers game, for high school football Friday night, or just any time's a good time for hot wings from the Crazy Coop. And they got the full menu available to you at the Bartlett location, 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten. When I say the full menu, delicious catfish sandwiches, half-pound burgers, all the great sides like the fried okra, the green tomatoes, the fried dill pickles. Of course, they have their second location, which is the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar, not far from where we're at. Just zip in, get your wings, and zip on out. But it's all about the hot wings. And what makes the great hot wings in this area are the seasonings, the sauces that are put on those hot wings. 27 different choices at the Crazy Coop, like the Buffalo Ranch, a perfect combo of ranch seasoning with a little kick to it. The mango habanero, the sweet taste of mango followed by the heat, or the sweet maple bourbon. The taste will remind you of chicken and waffles. And how about the crazy sweet lemon pepper hot, or the crazy suicide for all you nuts out there that like it that hot? I don't. I like it mild. So I get the 4 cheese roasted garlic or the barbecue bacon bourbon. That's just some of the flavors, some of the seasonings you can get on your hot wings from the Crazy Coop. You can get the whole wings, the party wings, the boneless wings, those big delicious chicken tenders. Pick up some crazy packs while you're there. Also, stop in, enjoy the game on any of their big screen televisions while you're enjoying these delicious hot wings from the Crazy Coop. You can order online, pick it up yourself, or have DoorDash or any of the other delivery services delivered to your home or to your office, and they will cater any event you got coming up. So ask them about their catering services. Open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. You've tried the rest, now try the best. That's the Crazy Coop.
If I could tell by a quick scan here, he has won 4 games. This was before this year. I don't think this year they won, but he's won 4 games as an underdog. He's lost 6 as a favorite.
Okay. 4 as a dog, 6 as a favorite. And I think
this year, I said that I don't think they were a dog in both games they lost. I think they've been a favorite in every game they've won.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the case.
So that would still maintain, because I don't have this year's in front of me, but so I believe just on a quick scan, he's 4 as a favorite. 4 as a dog wins, 6 as a favorite losses.
All right. We need to take a timeout, come back with our final segment. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
How long has it been since you heard the term being overstocked? Well, it's happened at Family Leisure. Yep. That means you get the savings, like select patio sets that are up to 50% off. If you need a play gym, you're in luck because they're also overstocked and start at under $2,000. Pool tables and game room items up to $700 off of in-stock items. Saunas, massage chairs, arcades, even theater seating. Special financing is available with free delivery. Family Leisure is extending sale pricing on all in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. And if you need supplies to close up your pool for the winter, Family Leisure has them up to 30% off. It's been a while since you've heard of an overstock sale, but Family Leisure is right in the middle of one. Huge deals and a huge overstocked inventory. That means great savings for you. It's happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Get the home field advantage every time with Fairfield by Marriott, the official hotel of the NCAA. Whether you're a student athlete working towards your championship dreams or your team's biggest fan, Fairfield by Marriott has everything you need to get ready for game day, from comfortable guest rooms to a complimentary hot breakfast. Visit fairfield.marriott.com to book your next game day stay. Fairfield by Marriott, part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels, an official hotel of the NCAA.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Grapevine Liquor and Wine has the largest selection of bourbon in North Mississippi and wines from all over the world. Let Jimmy the Delta Boy help you select the perfect spirit or wine to impress. Whether you're looking for the best price or a certain flavor profile, Grapevine Liquor and Wines has it. If you want good southern treatment and the hottest prices, Grapevine Liquor and Wine, Getwell Road, South Haven.
Hotty toddy, gosh almighty, where do you get your bourbon? Flim flam, bim bam, Grapevine, by damn.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Grease lightning.
Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Ole Miss basketball back in action tonight. They'll play Detroit Mercy. Have mercy on me, Ole Miss. Tonight at 6:30, pregame begins right here on Sports 56. If you missed it last night, Monday Night Football, Denver pulls it out against Buffalo 24-22. Bad beat for yours truly as far as his five-leg parlay is concerned. Thank you very much, Buffalo.
I won all my bets.
Well, you do the straight-up bets. I do the parlays. I lose.
3 for 3.
Which bets did you have?
I had the first score to be a field goal. Josh Allen is throwing an interception, and I had Javonte Williams over his rushing yards.
Very nice. Good job. If you missed it, Seth Hennigan was named the American Conference Offensive Player of the Week. According to Ryan Silverfield on Monday, it looks like he's good to go with his shoulder issues, and he'll be back at the helm on Saturday, and they need every bit of Seth Hennigan. They need every bit of everybody, let's be honest, including Blake Watson, who returned on Saturday against Charlotte and played very, very well. Grizzlies tonight. 2-8 at the Lakers, 5-5. The Grizz coming off that win on Sunday over the Los Angeles Clippers, so they will be playing in the same arena. Crypto.com, what is it?
Crypto.com.
Crypto.com. Have you seen the complete injury report yet?
For who?
For the Grizzlies?
Yeah.
Who's back in or out? Or
Well, Xavier Tillman's listed as questionable for this.
See, if Tillman, now, are you finally sold on when Tillman comes back, he's a backup, Bismack Biyombo is the starter? Because we went back and forth on that.
No, I'm not saying which one it should start. I'm telling you, I still believe when Tillman's healthy, they will start him.
That is ridiculous. If they start Xavier Tillman after what Bismack Biyombo has done, has Bismack Biyombo had a double-double in every game? Not counting that first game when he came in like with a second to go. I mean, if not, he's had, how many games has he played? 3? He's had at least 2 double-doubles. Hey, Bismack Biyombo should be the starter. I don't think there's any question. Tillman is a backup center in this league. And I like the X-Man. He's done a good job, an admirable job, but Bismack Biyombo should be the starter. As far as the Lakers are concerned, you mentioned earlier about LeBron. He's questionable.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they play him without LeBron, and maybe somehow they get another win in Los Angeles. Then they'll come home, and then they'll head to San Antonio for a game on Saturday. We talked about this a lot.
For their first ever in-season tournament win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited about this in-season tournament.
Did you see the numbers
so
from ESPN?
No.
Viewing is up 55% for in-season tournament games compared to the same windows last year.
Get the hell out of here. Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. Why?
I don't know. But
they're playing. But go in-season champion, more money for the players. Yay.
People are watching.
Are teams going to hang banners when they win in-season tournaments every year?
I would.
Put a damn playoff spot on the line. Be a part of the play-in if you win the in-season tournament.
By the way, Biyombo, back-to-back double-doubles for him.
Back-to-back double-doubles. So, Bismack should be a starter. I don't care if the X-Man is back. As I mentioned, then they come home, and then they go to San Antonio, their first taste of Victor Wembanyama. And yesterday we dove into the whole situation with their coach, Taylor Jenkins, and whether or not this continues, this type of awful record to begin the season, whether or not they would let him go. I think it's ridiculous. I think he has proven himself as a really good coach. He's not a great coach. He makes mistakes, but I think for the most part, the players like to play for him. And I think he has been dealt a horrible, horrible hand. Maybe there has to be a fall guy, and if there's a fall guy, it probably would be him. But I think that's incredibly unfair. They had the second best record in the West the last 2 years. We were just talking about him getting votes for Coach of the Year. I think, again, when you go into a season, Josh suspended for 25 games, and you lose Steven Adams 2 games or 2 days before the season starts, I don't think that's on Taylor Jenkins. And if they made a move, I don't even know what direction they would go in. So I still would be surprised if that happens. But again, if they go 4-21 before Ja returns, and I guess something would happen. I would just be mad if it did.
By the way, the Lakers, I think are they undefeated in the in-season tournament?
Man, you're really caught up into this in-season tournament.
I mean, why not? I mean, it's part of the league. Like,
I don't know. just doesn't do much for me.
Yeah, the Grizzlies are the only team in their group that has played 2 games so far.
Oh,
Everybody
really?
else has only played 1.
And lost both.
Lakers, Jazz, and Portland all 1-0. Phoenix is 0-1 because I knew Lakers had beaten Phoenix, but the Grizzlies are the only one that's actually played 2 games already. So
tonight, college basketball, big one, as you have Michigan State and Duke, Kentucky and Kansas. That's a nice little double dip. Memphis Tigers won't be back in action until Friday when they take on Alabama State. An old friend, Tony Madlock, good friend of the show, as he will bring his team to Memphis. And then it's off to the Bahamas next week for the battle for Atlantis. The women, by the way, after the tough loss last night in Knoxville, they're headed to, maybe already in the Bahamas, as they will play before the men actually go down there next week to play. And the men will open up with Michigan, and Michigan a resounding 89-73 win yesterday over the Fighting St. John's Patinos. They win by 16.
Folks, as you start to think about the holiday season, maybe this year you're looking to go really big for that special someone, like a diamond, maybe a fabulous luxury watch, or any other piece of fine jewelry. But you also want to make sure that you're super careful with your money, make sure you're getting the great value for your money in that gift. Well, you can do all of that at Genesis Diamonds. Very, very simple. Poplar and Perkins Extended is where you'll find Genesis Diamonds, right there in the middle of the Poplar Commons Shopping Center. And when it comes to selection and value, nobody touches Genesis Diamonds. You walk in the door, case after case after case of just unbelievable jewelry. Engagement rings everywhere. If you're looking to pop the question this year, this is the place to go for that engagement ring. But any other fine jewelry. They've got lines of jewelry that nobody else in town has. And then the prices. They take out the middleman, direct importer prices to save you money. Unbelievable warranties. Their unbelievable upgrade policy that they do as well, all at Genesis Diamonds. It's stuff that you just don't find anywhere else. Go check them out. Poplar Commons Shopping Center, Poplar and Perkins Extended. For your holiday shopping for that special somebody, go see them at Genesis Diamonds.
All right. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Belk Bowl still exists, and that's played at the Charlotte Panthers Stadium, correct?
I believe so.
Okay. Is this bowl new, or are they moving? Is this the bowl that they moved from the Bahamas? Because ESPN has just announced that Charlotte, and I just saw this place on Friday night, Charlotte-based breakfast, brunch, and lunch franchise Famous Toastery. I was making fun of it. I said, what do they do? Just make toast? How are you going to make money off a place that just serves toast? Famous Toastery, the Famous Toastery named the title sponsor of the ESPN Events Bowl in Charlotte. The game will be played at Jerry Richardson Stadium, which seats 15,000 people. That's the one that Memphis just played in Charlotte. The Famous Toastery bowl game. I think this is the bowl game that may have been moved from from the Bahamas, if I'm not mistaken. So there you go. Wow, that Jerry Richardson Stadium is going to host a bowl game.
Bahamas, Charlotte, very similar.
Very, very similar this time of the year. We want to thank Connor O'Gara, Jeff Crane, Zoe Goodson for joining us on the program today. Tomorrow, we're back bright and early, starting at 7 a.m. Among our guests, Andy Borman, Memphis Tigers assistant basketball coach. We'll talk with Jerry Palm. We'll talk Grizzlies with DeMichael Cole. 5 favorite things. Get your list together, your 5 favorite athletes, college or pro, who were born in the Memphis metropolitan area. Waldo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next for Eli Savoy and Zach Boyd. I'm Greg Gaston. Enjoy your day, everybody.